Aloha, everyone, and happy Friday, happy new moon. This is such a powerful time. I had to get on here live, and I will be doing an event tonight. If you would like to join us, the link is in the description. These are very palpably intense times. It feels as though we are on some type of a precipice. And some of us may be feeling fear, anxiety, doubt, overwhelm. And that all those feelings are perfectly natural as we prepare for a rebirth. And so the energetics astrologically really point to this very big energy of rebirth, transformation, depth, intensity, going within, following the trail, following the golden trail to knowing ourselves. And so tonight, Lotus Dawn here, I am going to be guiding you all through a journey. We're going to take a journey on this new moon into the sky, into the stars, to find the map, to find the pathway that will guide us on this journey with greater clarity, with greater connection, with greater ease. So I want to invite you all. Relax. Plug in your headphones, your ear pods, get comfortable, and we're going to go on a journey into the stars to find the guidance that we need. And we have several friends joining us tonight that I'm going to bring up their astrological charts, and we are then going to be able to tune into where this new moon is activating them. And so the energies are powerful, they're profound, they're deep. And remember, the new moon time is the most powerful time to set intentions because the energy of the moon is quietest. And so the moon is powerful. We all know this. We have all been at the ocean and stood with our feet in the sand and felt the tug and the pull of the tides, drawing us ever deeper to the earth, connecting us ever deeper. And so at the time of the new moon, that vibrational magnetic pole of the moon is quietest. See the moon. And so we have the greatest ability to go deeper, to know ourselves the most, to literally go within and be able to tune into what is truest and most important for us for what it is we want to create. So like I do on every live call, I'm going to play the sound bowls to start our event, to clear our energy, to activate our clarity and our purpose, and then we'll dive in. So I'm going to share screen with you all. So I hope you all are doing awesome. I'm so glad that you are here. And I'm very excited for our journey together tonight. So I invite everyone as we tune into this new moon in Virgo astrological event to get clear, to get activated with some sound. All right. I'm going to invite some friends to come on in and join the room. Okay, fantastic. And here we go. take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. And welcome everyone to tonight's event, New Moon, New Earth, New Beginnings, okay? New Beginnings. And so here we sit at this pivotal time, this transformational time. We are at the Celtic New Year. And so in the Celtic tradition, last night, Samhain, Samhain, Halloween, All Hallows is considered to be the final day of autumn, the last day of the autumn, and the beginning and the New Year's Eve, actually. So today would be the Celtic New Year. It's also known as the Day of the Dead. It is a time when the veils are so thin. The energy veils are so thin that our ability to communicate with our ancestors, to be able to communicate with our loved ones who have been gone to the other side, or even loved ones who are still here who might need some help getting to the other side. This is a time when we may hear their voices the most loud. We may have awarenesses and connections into the other realm. It is when the veil is thinnest. And so wherever you are and whatever you may find yourself doing at this time, this is a sacred time. This is a time where we're keyed into and connected to something bigger, something beyond ourselves. And so I'm so glad that you are here tonight joining me, or if you're later going to be watching me on the replay, know that the energy, the healing, and the information that comes through is going to be profound and pivotal and deeply activate even you in the future if you are watching this or if you have any questions. Okay. Now it is the new moon. And so when it is the new moon time, we may find that we're much more internal. We may find that going out to events such as this new moon activation event might feel strenuous, as energetically we're wanting to be kind of quiet. We're kind of wanting to go within. And so it's a really good time for that. If you find yourself at home, you find yourself going within, nurturing, caring for yourself, you're right on track. And I hope that this video and this energy that I'm going to transmit and come through for you is going to be equally powerful, whether you're on the call with us live, you decide to jump on later, or you watch the replay. And so I am Lotus Dawn. I am true to the stars sidereal astrologer and energy healing practitioner. I specialize in assisting people in clearing blocks to their life vision through looking at often at the ancestral and past life level, as well as early childhood. And I also specialize in supporting and assisting souls that may have passed but are in between worlds to go to the light. And so at this time of All Hallows, at this time when the veils are thin, I'm receiving so many downloads and so much information is coming through. You know, comment below if you're also experiencing this. It's very, very, very profound time. And so what is happening astrologically, right? What is happening in our lives? What is happening in the sky that may correlate very deeply with what is happening in the sky? And so I wanted to bring our attention to the sky and to the stars and tune into what is going on in the sky, what is going on in the stars, what is happening on the planetary level, in the constellational level. And we've had a huge shift. Not only have the seasons shifting and changing, but the planets and the stars themselves are shifting and changing. And so I'm going to share screen with you, and we're just going to go take a little journey into the night sky to tune in to what's happening tonight on the new moon. And welcome, Anthony, welcome, Carlo, welcome, Christine. So glad you could join us. And Carlo says he's experiencing very interesting energies. And absolutely, Positively, is that true? And so that's why I'm here tonight to help bring some awareness and some clarity to what is going on. Holy cow. Holy cow, is it powerful? So join me as we dive in. So here we have the sun and the moon together. So it's the new moon. So that means sun and moon come together. And the new moon was at 5:47 a.m. And welcome, Lena, as well. 5:47 a.m. And at the time of this new moon, we have the constellation Virgo. Okay. Now the sun is at Virgo's feet. And Virgo represents the Earth Mother, the goddess, the earth, everything on the earth, okay? Your body, physical materials, food, clothing, nourishment. And the feet are important. Why are the feet important? Because the feet are what carry us from one place to another. Okay? So are you feeling rooted in where you are? Or is this the time of a new beginning, of a new direction? Yeah. New moons always represent new beginnings. And so the energy of this new moon, whew, it may be quiet tonight. The dark of the moon is a quiet time. We may feel very internal. But tonight is the time where we're starting to set our intention for the next 2-week cycle, for our next expression, our next fruition, our next blossoming, our next beingness, becomingness, right? Becoming into what we're here for. So when the sun is in Virgo and the moon is in Virgo, we're very sensitive. Virgo is so energetically aware of every little nuance, every little type of food we eat, every ounce of clutter around us. And they love to clean and they love to organize and they love to get grounded and get everything in alignment. But what happens if our world is in chaos? What happens if our world does not have any structure? What happens if everyone around us and everything around us is going through a major transformation? You can raise your hand if you're noticing that. Then it can make the energy of Virgo feel a bit challenging. Like we want to clean, we want to get organized, we want to get clear on our routine and our structure, but the energy of the planet is just full of change. It's full of shifting. How do I make a plan when I don't know the future? How do I make a plan when I don't know what's going to happen? How do I set up a routine where I don't know where I'm going to be? Yeah. And so the energetic of this time is compelling us to have a little bit of internal patience, where while we want to feel clear, we want to feel grounded, we want to feel connected to knowing, we may not know yet. And so this new moon in Virgo is asking us to have patience. The plan is coming, I hear. The plan is coming. The knowledge is coming. The knowingness is coming. Can you be patient over the next 2 weeks for the answer to come? Because the next 2 weeks will be the full moon. The full moon in 2 weeks will be in Libra. Holy cow. What's Libra? Libra is justice. Libra is the law. Libra is politics. Yeah, you're starting to hear some bells going off in your head right now? Yeah. We're in the state of not knowing, and yet it's a new beginning. And how do we set a seed when we don't know the future? We must get clear on our own path. We must be discriminating, Virgo, of what it is we want. We must go beyond what the world is doing, mustn't we? We must make a clear pathway for ourselves. Right. Right. So can you see, as we start to imagine rising above the noise of the world and getting clear and coming into our own center, how suddenly we can think again? suddenly you reconnect to yourself. As an energy practitioner, I have found at this time that energetically, the world is very loud. The people, the thoughts, the emotions of everyone on this earth is up to a crescendo, and it feels like it's being divided in half. One side on one side on the other, and no one hearing a word either one says to the other. Almost just divided. And is that truth? No. Truth is being able to hear each other, isn't it? Truth is being able to sit and hold space and have a conversation, because that's our humanness, isn't it? Throughout history, we've had disagreement, we've had argument, but true wisdom, true justice, and true democracy has always been when the two sides could then talk it out. When the wise man of the village would come and they would settle disputes. It is time for that energy to return to our earth, where both sides can have a conversation. Mercury today at the new moon is in Libra. Libra is the sign of balance and the sign of justice. Libra is the law. Mercury is communication. Libra is the scales of justice. We want justice, don't we? We want to know how to be, we want to know Sun and Moon in Virgo, what it's going to take to live a healthy life. That's all we want right now. We just want to live a healthy life. We just want to have balance in our work and our career and our finances and our daily life. We just want to have some type of health here. We want to be healthy and happy. We want to provide for our families. We want to communicate with our loved ones, with our friends. We want to grow our purpose, and we want to feel healthy. How do we do that in a world where there's so much injustice happening? So we're feeling this teeter-totter. I can't make my life healthy because of the world out there is going so crazy. I don't know what's going to happen. However, we have to rise above the energy of the outer world right now. We have to say, yes, the world is doing what it's doing. People are in opposition or challenge around this or that side, but we have to choose our own path right now. We have to rise above the argument, because the truth of our souls is so much bigger than any sides fighting over some made up thing that they're battling about. Or it could be real, right? But if you get beyond the argument, the truth is that we're all one, and we all really want the same thing. We want to be happy. We want to be healthy. We want to live our best possible life. We want to have income. We want to do well for others. And so all of this separation and fighting doesn't serve anyone. Doesn't serve anyone. Okay. And so in order for us to set our new moon intention, I want to invite you all to see the world as way far away. Allow it to just expand into space away from you, all the people, all the thoughts, all the psychic energy, and then come into your own body space and your own temple, Sun and Moon in Virgo at the new moon time. Clarity, precision. How do you want to set up your life? What type of routine do you want to have? Yeah. And so Christine is sharing in the chat, I find disconnecting from the outside world and even just staying quiet is what is keeping me calm. Absolutely. Absolutely. Right now, and this is a truth that has been talked about quite a bit, they use huge amounts of hypnotic mind control in the mainstream media, especially in the news. And so when we get onto these news sites or information or politics, we're being bombarded by emotionally stimulating messages that plunge us typically down into fear, anxiety, overwhelm, etc. And so truly the only way to handle what's going on right now is to find your inner peace. find your inner space. And I really recommend for the next week, like deeply disattaching from triggering conversations and just staying focused on what you want to create, because they're most afraid of us being creators and taking back our power to be happy and have a very beautiful, powerful vibration. And so we have to rise above the fear, and we have to rise above the separation, and we have to keep transmitting the most puriful, that's a good word, pure, beautiful vibrations of love, peace, and harmony. Because if we stay in that frequency, if we stay in that vibration, guess what? We create timelines and futures that are full of peace and love and harmony. It is the truth and it is the reality. And so your vibration right now, my friends, what you think about, what you look at, the news that you read is more important than any outcomes externally. Okay? Because we are creating the outcome. And that's what they don't want us to think about. We are creators. Christine says, I'm not even listening to non-related podcasts either, listening to the birds chirp. Yes. Yeah, get out into nature. I am up at a Buddhist retreat center right on the property, going and spinning the prayer wheel and tuning into the energy of peace. And when I'm there, I'm just going, gosh, this is what it's all about, right? This is why we're here. We're here to experience peace. We're here to experience the oneness, right? And so tonight, Sun and Moon in Virgo. Moon has now moved into Libra, but at the new moon was at Virgo exactly. Venus, Venus, our beautiful goddess of abundance, is currently in the constellation, our favorite constellation, of Ophiuchus. Ophiuchus, the snake tamer. Venus is actually the planetary ruler of this new moon. Why? Well, when we look at the sun and moon, we can divide it into three parts of Virgo, and Virgo has three signs that it gets divided into, the three earth signs. So Virgo, Capricorn, and Taurus. Those are the three signs based on the degree. And so it actually goes back into Taurus, the sign, it's called the decadent that the sun and moon, new moon is related to Taurus, and Taurus is ruled by Venus. And so Venus is actually one of the planetary rulers of the new moon, and she is in Ophiuchus. So that tells us that Ophiuchus is behind it all, my friends. If you're feeling the intensity, if you're feeling the depth of this new moon, Ophiuchus is the snake tamer. Ophiuchus is the ancient secret knowledge of energy transmutation. Ophiuchus represents the return of the divine feminine and the divine masculine back into balance, back into oneness. What does that mean? Well, let's dive into it for fun. And hi, Andony, welcome. Woohoo! So we're going to dive into some, Ophiuchus energy to explain it at a deeper level. And so before we get into Ophiuchus, though, let's talk about Venus, the goddess of love. So what is Venusian energy? If Venus is the ruler of this new moon, right? This is the energy, this is for the planetary energy behind it. So if we want to know more about it, this is how we dive into it. Venus is beauty. Look at that. I mean, Christine had to turn her camera on because she was like, I like that. We got flowers, we've got a meadow, we've got a gorgeous goddess coming up out of the ocean, we've got money, we've got this joyful energy of protection and safety. That's Venus, right? It's the goddess energy. It's also known as the billionaire planet. So with Venus comes the greatest potential for the highest amount of money and wealth and abundance to come through. Yeah? Venus is all about beautiful things, right? It's all about chocolate cake. It's all about the senses. So think about your senses, right? What you can see, what you can taste, like eat, like chocolate cake, what you can smell, like delicious perfume, what you can hear, like beautiful music, right? Venus is that energy of enjoyment, right? What we love. It also relates to our worth and our value. You think about how we talk about self-love, right? Loving ourselves. That's what Venus is about. How do we love ourselves? What's our value? How do we honor and value ourselves? How do we honor and value other people? It's a very feminine energy. It's green. It's this like goddess-like energy, beauty, abundance, prosperity, wealth. That's Venusian energy. Now, in Ophiuchus, things get interesting. Okay, so you're going to travel through my hundreds and hundreds of slide decks. I have so many PowerPoint presentations here. So we're going to go into Ophiuchus territory. And I've been contemplating if anyone out there is interested in a masterclass to dive into the 12 houses of the astrological chart and the 12 signs and the 10 planets. And you're wanting to know more about astrology. If you're interested in joining me for a masterclass like that, let me know, because I've been playing around with the idea of unleashing some of my slide decks here and presenting to you all a deeper story around what each of the signs is about, each of the planets. Okay, and so that brings us to Ophiuchus energy. So what is Ophiuchus energy? Ophiuchus energy is incredibly profound. Welcome to the sacred mysteries of Ophiuchus. Anthony, yes, you had a question.
Oh, hey Lotus. I have a question. Are we checking out Venus because it is ruled or it is the ruler of Virgo, or is Venus in a specific place? I missed that part.
Oh yeah, that's the most confusing part. Let me clarify it.
Okay.
So every sign, right? Sun and moon are in Virgo. Every sign can then be divided into three. And that's how we go deeper. That's how we can figure out, okay, well, what's the real planetary ruler of tonight's sun and moon? And so if you divide Virgo into three signs, it's going to be the three earth signs, which are Virgo, Capricorn, and Taurus. Now, because this new moon is at the very end of Virgo, which is also another reason why I wanted to go deeper with it, is when a sign is at the very end, it's kind of an interesting energy, right? It's like, okay, what does it mean? It has some of the energy of Libra coming in, which is balance and fairness and justice and the law, but it's still got Virgo, which is the earth mother, and it's our physical body, and it's like wanting to be grounded in this life and like healthy and like pursuing our routine. And so I'm like, let's clarify this. Let's go deeper. And so I looked at, okay, if you divide Virgo into three parts, into its three earth signs, it'd be Virgo, Capricorn, and Taurus. The last degrees, that means it's in Taurus. Taurus decadent. The sun and moon are in Virgo, but they're in the Taurus decadent of Virgo. Okay, so the third half of Virgo becomes Taurian energy. It's very interesting, and it's a much more subtle use of astrology. It's when you start studying astrology, you start getting into the decadents, which are the more subtle expression of the sign. And so Taurus is ruled by Venus. So that's how we got to Venus. Right? So the third decadent that Virgo is in, the last one, Taurian energy, the earth, right? Everything you can see, smell, hear, touch, feel, beauty, abundance, wealth. And Virgo and Venus is in Ophiuchus at this new moon. Wow. So what is Ophiuchus, right? In order for us to really grasp what's going on at this new moon time and why the energy is so dense, why it's so deep. So what is Ophiuchus? I have this little video to share with you. So welcome to the sacred mysteries of Ophiuchus. Ophiuchus is the sacred, secret mystery storehouse of the ancient knowledge of all of our history. And so what is that like? Well, traveling into the energy of Ophiuchus is a bit like coming upon a hidden treasure, just like they do in this video. So hold on and take a look. Have you ever felt like there was something deep inside you? That's what Ophiuchus energy is. Ophiuchus is the storehouse of all of the ancient, secret, sacred knowledge, artifacts, histories, pieces of information that have been hidden or buried or suppressed. Ophiuchus is the truth that has been kept from us for thousands of years, the truth of our immortality, the truth of our eternal soul, the truth of how our energy body works. And so Ophiuchus represents our mastery. Okay. It represents our mastery, and it also guides us into the mystery. Okay. Can you get to Ophiuchus energy purely through knowledge? No. The possession of knowledge does not kill the sense of wonder and mystery. There is always more mystery. And so Ophiuchus teaches us how to keep going. Did you notice when we found the treasure that it just kept going and going and going and going and going? Do we ever truly get to the end, is what Ophiuchus asks us. But are you open to the journey? Are you open to the journey of the transmutation of physical dense matter into divine spiritual energy? You imagine that this new moon being connected to Ophiuchus in this way, and we're trying to sit there and like eat our dinner and brush our teeth and, take care of the animals. And this is happening energetically, calling us into a deeper connection with our higher self. This is happening when we have the politics going on, and yet we're being called to a deeper spiritual truth. We're being called to claim our mastery. So we just got through Venus and Scorpio. I want to congratulate everyone. Venus and Scorpio is the initiation. It's the initiation. That's like the dark night of the soul kind of stuff. Okay, so you guys got through it. You're here on Ophiuchus. What does that mean? It means you're ready to start mastering what you learned. Okay, you're here to take all of the challenges that you went through, and you're starting to integrate it into your awareness of what else is possible. You're integrating in all the turmoil you went through. Okay, what do I do now? What's next? What do I do with the awareness, the deep dark night of the soul that I went through, the intensity, the rebirth? This is what Ophiuchus is leading us to, the new rebirth. It's leading us to freedom. It's leading us to truth. In ancient Egypt and other ancient societies, they had a practice that they would take many of their initiates through if you wanted to learn the secret sacred mysteries of their teachings. And in this practice, the soul would be guided through a death experience. Sometimes it would be through the administration of drugs or mushrooms or something of that nature. And they would go through it like a near-death experience, to experience death and to experience what it felt like to transition from life into death, or to face death, to get through death, to lose all fear of death. Okay? And so Scorpio is that time where we face death, where we face loss, where we face our fears. And now as we move into Venus in Ophiuchus, which is what we love, right? This is all about what we love. Okay. And so when Venus changes signs, it changes the atmosphere of everyone, because suddenly the positive energies that we're looking to dive into also shift. And what we desire changes. And so what we desire tends to be what we create. Have you noticed that? What we desire then tends to appear. And so Venus is the planet of desire. Yeah, Venus is the planet of desire. Wherever we have Venus in our own chart, wherever Venus is in the actual sky, like it is right now, this relates to what we desire will then be what we create. And so at the new moon time, having sun and moon both be sort of connected to Venus, what we desire, becomes a very powerful time for what we're wanting to create. With Venus and Ophiuchus, that could be interesting. Are you noticing that? Like what you're wanting is like different than normal. It's like it's kind of off here and it's up here and it's like at this deeper level. And you're like, what do I want? What do I really want? It's like the question is going deeper, isn't it? It's not an easy answer this time. Usually it's like, well, I want more money and I want to spend more time with my children and I want to have a house and I want to have a bigger yard or I want to go farther. I want to make more money. But this time it's different, isn't it? That's Ophiuchus energy. That's the energy of your higher self saying, what do you really want? What do you want at the level of your soul? Okay, I'm not going to mince matters with you. This is what the intensity level of the collective is at. We're being asked to tune into what we want at the level of our heart and our soul and know that we can have it. Know that we can create it. Because look at this picture. I mean, what are they learning here? They're learning to master the five elements. So the element that rules ether, so we have air, fire, water, and earth. I didn't even know the elements were written there when I said that. That was really interesting. We have air, fire, water, and earth. So we have the four elements, but there's really five. And Nikola Tesla spoke of this, and the ancient knowledge books spoke of a fifth element known as quintessence or ether. Look up quintessence, look up ether. It will really, really elucidate and make clear some of the mystery of how energy works. Ether is space. Ether is the molecules between the particles that exist all around us. Ether is a huge component to how we create and manifest materially in this world. Okay? And so are you connecting to what you wish to create in the ether? That's why setting your intention on the new moon, writing out what you wish to create, getting deep into a meditative state will really empower you with what it is you wish to create. Now, Venus and Ophiuchus, though, is saying before you do that, before you claim the power of your creative ability and use it and master it, what do you really want to create? Because you're going to make it happen. So Venus and Ophiuchus is really asking all of us to get very clear. What is it that we wish to create? What is it we wish to see in the world? Now, if you don't know, and I feel like I could never handle the pressure of a new moon, like you have to know right now. And I'm like, I'm out of here. I'm going to go on a walk. This is too much pressure, way too much pressure. And so, what I've found to be a really amazing gift, right? When there's all this pressure to do something at a specific moment, like the holidays, for instance, those are coming too, is that it's more important to focus on the feeling. What is the feeling that you want to have? Yeah, what's the feeling you want to have so that you can create the space that this new moon wants to bring in, right? Knowing others is wisdom. Knowing yourself is enlightenment. Okay. And so this new moon, we're really being drawn within. You know, sometimes we get distracted by other people. Sometimes we are busy at the new moon or we're drawn outwards. But at this new moon, energy is so concentrated and it's saying go within, saying listen. It's like the quiet reed by the lake with the wind blowing through them. And you're sitting by the water and you hear the sound of the wind through the reeds. And our higher selves are asking us to sit by that bank and to listen to the space between the words, right? Venus and Ophiuchus is space. We're being asked to listen to the space instead of looking for things to appear. Listen to the space in between things. Listen to the space in between our breaths. Listen to the spaciousness to find the answer. Perhaps the answer is in the space. And so with the world trying to make things appear one way or another way, or outcomes this or that, can you let go of attachment and get into the spaciousness where all things are made, where your power is greatest to create? But it is through the letting go of attachment, and it's through the letting go of having to make something happen that something then is made and created. And so the true practice of manifestation requires such a profound focus and letting go at the same time, a simultaneous release. Just like Lao Tzu, right? Just like the letting go and allowing the beingness, allowing the beingness. And so this is Ophiuchus. This is the sign, the snake tamer. 13th sign, you add it to the constellation, you suddenly get 13 signs. She is located at the center, right near the galactic center. She's a magical energy because the galactic center is filled with 4 million solar masses. It's 26,000 light years from Earth. Woo, it is what the entire galaxy is organized around. And this is the sign, Ophiuchus, that is closest to the galactic center. So Ophiuchus is closest to the womb of creation and closest to our ability to manifest. This is the most highly charged manifestation new moon I've seen in a while because of its a connection to Ophiuchus and its connection to the galactic center. And so the power of this time is very, very deep. That's why you're like, I have to be on this call. You're like, I don't know, maybe I don't want to, maybe I want to go crawl in bed and just like get cozy with the book, but something drew you here. And if you're watching the replay, it's probably because of this. And honestly, I didn't know I would be sharing this slide or talking about this. So this is all perfectly coordinated for this exact moment so that we could all tune in to the power of the galactic center, which the entire galaxy is actually organized around, which has within it a cosmic storm moving at the rate of 50,000 miles per second. It releases energy in the form of X-rays, gamma rays, Hawking radiation, and more. And it is believed to be the remnant of an incredibly large collapsed ancient star. So if that planet is then the ruler of this new moon that we are in, because of the decadent that it is in, then I would say that you could be feeling our connection to the galactic center through the goddess Venus, the planet Venus, very strongly at this time. And if you have planets in Ophiuchus or you have other major spots in your chart related to Ophiuchus, which I know several of you do, especially some of you who just popped on, then this may be a time where you're like, golly, what is this all about? So when the galactic center is activated via a planet in Ophiuchus, we may find that the depth and power of our ability to manifest increases exponentially. There are 2 times of the year that the sun activates the galactic center, and that is when it is in Ophiuchus between December 8th and December 19th, right before the winter solstice. And on the inverse, directly opposite, between June 8th and June 21st, the summer solstice. And so for us to have a sneak peek galactic activation time with Ophiuchus before those days is really powerful. And here we are at the start of the Celtic New Year. It's the new year. It was the Day of the Dead. It's the Day of the Dead, right? It's the day the veil is the thinnest and Venus, the goddess of love, is connecting to the galactic center. So I think that may begin to start to answer this very deep question in the collective around why am I feeling such intensity? Why is it so intense? What is this energy? And it is the universe inviting you to slow down, to put your pen and paper down, right? To put your studies down, to put the work down, to put, I have to get this done down and come into the present moment, because the power of what's happening right now is very profound. Why is it so powerful? Some say that the galactic center is the remnant of an incredibly large, collapsed ancient star. Well, what was that ancient star? What was it? Was it a planet? Was it perhaps another civilization? Yeah. What was there? And what type of memories or echoes of memories would that bring up for us as a civilization? Was that our planet? Did we live there? Were we part of an ancient civilization that once lived in the galactic center? Do we have memories from that time? Are we being triggered by the desire to make sure that whatever happened on that planet never happens here? Maybe. You'll have to tune into yourself and see what you feel. I can't speak for you, but I can say that for me, yeah, that's what it feels like, deeply. And so we can set the intention that what it is we wish to have happen this time, happen. And what is it we wish? We want to have peace. We want to have friggin' peace. We want to be happy. We want everyone on this earth to be happy. We want everyone to live, to be healthy, to be happy, to be living the best possible life. Isn't this amazing picture? We have the galactic center. Ophiuchus is here. They call this the Golden Gate. And here's Venus right now, right? She's right there in this Golden Gate, connecting us to me, what feels like the womb of the galaxy, right? Feels like the womb of the galaxy, where all life came from. And so if we are connected through this Golden Gate to the galactic center with the billionaire planet, this also could be an incredibly abundant, prosperous, and wealthy time. What would you like to see happen with your finances at this time? Yeah, this is the day. This is a great day to feel into that, because Venus is wealth and money, abundance, prosperity. Galactic center, powerhouse, 4 supermassive black holes. It is like the most powerful manifestation portal of the whole freaking galaxy. And Venus is lining up with her today. That's incredible. Absolutely incredible. So, who was Ophiuchus? Okay. In Greek mythology, Ophiuchus was said to depict the god Apollo wrestling the snake, guarding the Oracle of Delphi. And so there's a connection between Ophiuchus and the Oracle of Delphi. The name Delphine means womb, and probably arose by formation from Delphi. Okay. It also could have taken its name from the Delphine, which is the she-serpent Jacquina, who lived there, who was killed by the god Apollo. In other accounts, the serpent was the male serpent Draken. So, of course, if you're not familiar with the Oracle of Delphi, she would sit on top of this chair above this hole in the earth where gaseous fumes would come out. And she would predict, channel, and guide her people through an altered state, essentially. And so the Oracle of Delphi in ancient Greece was a very profound historical figure. You know, she was considered to be one of the most powerful guides around. If you wanted to know the answers about your life, you would go see her. No matter that she was breathing in toxic gas fumes in order to get you the answer, of course. Okay, but Ophiuchus has this connection to the mystery schools, right? The Oracle of Delphi was a guide and guardian. She knew ancient secrets. And this is from ancient Greece. This is where the Oracle of Delphi was. Now, what's really interesting is if you follow the definition of Ophiuchus, you follow the name, you'll find that Apollo was the father of a man named Asclepius. And Asclepius is another name for Ophiuchus. So there are two names of Ophiuchus. Asclepius was the ancient Greek name of a very powerful half-immortal physician. And this is the man that Ophiuchus was named after in Greek mythology. Apollo was the father of Asclepius, just like in the story here, Apollo was said to kill the snake guarding the Oracle of Delphi. In this tale, Apollo was the father of Ophiuchus. Interesting. Interesting. Things are tying here together in an interesting way. So Apollo and a woman named Coronis were the parents of Ophiuchus. And he was the god of health. And you can see his symbol here is the caduceus, which is what the doctor's symbol is in current times. And so Asclepius was known as the father of medicine. In fact, to this day, the Hippocratic oath, which all doctors swear upon, I swear by Apollo, the physician, and Asclepius, that according to my ability and judgment, I will keep this oath and this stipulation. And so Ophiuchus is related to the ancient symbol that doctors use to this day. And in fact, he was known as the man who conquered death. So the story goes is that Asclepius was walking through Greece barefoot, and a snake came up to him and he threw it away. He hit it, get off of my path, snake. He accidentally killed the snake. He killed it. Oh no. Luckily, another snake came slithering up and gave the snake that had died some herbs. Miraculously, the snake came back to life. What? Well, for the god of medicine, this was very exciting and he had to know why. So he asked the snake, hey, how did you do that? Of course, the snake was very willing and gave him the secret recipe. So then Asclepius or Ophiuchus then went around the world, bringing people back to life who had died. Yeah, interesting. Interesting. Now, the gods, the god of the underworld specifically, was not pleased that suddenly people were not dying anymore. As you can imagine, being the god of the underworld, he kind of expected people to keep dying so that there would be people there in his underworld. But Asclepius's magical recipe that he learned from the snake was working so well that nobody was dying anymore. So Pluto got pissed. The god of the underworld got super angry. And he said, Zeus, the king of the gods, please take him out. So they killed Asclepius with a lightning bolt. What? Who's monitoring these gods? I mean, is someone taking him to court for this? Like, what the heck? Right? So he got placed up into the sky as the constellation known as Ophiuchus. And so if you have Ophiuchus in your chart, you're probably very gifted when it comes to medicine. And in fact, you might know things that could enable you to bring people back from the death. So you could be a miracle worker. And maybe you don't know it yet. Maybe you haven't figured out what way it is that you work miracles, but you have that ability with Ophiuchus in your chart. And so with Venus being one of the main rulers of tonight's new moon, and with Venus being in Ophiuchus, what kind of miracles for health, for healing, and for your life would you like to call in at this new moon? That's possible, okay? sometimes when things get the most intense are actually the times when you have the greatest ability to call in the biggest miracle, right? Just like when he killed the snake, he thought it was all over. He'd done a horrible thing, and now the snake was dead, and he didn't have any recourse. Well, then he learned how to bring the snake back to life. From the worst case situation scenario, worst case, nothing could get better, to transcendent curing death. What is possible in your life? What kind of turnaround is possible for you if Ophiuchus had that ability? And where have you had to hide because of your abilities out of fear that you might have someone throw a freaking lightning bolt at you? Okay? So there's both the possibility of miraculous power, eternal life, the ability to bestow life after death. Holy cow. We're talking about Jesus stuff here. We're talking about walking on water practically. Yeah? And also, where have those abilities gotten you into some deep trouble where now you're afraid to bring those powers and abilities out? Is anyone getting the intensity of this? Is this starting to make some sense now about what you've been noticing?
Yes, it's starting to make sense for sure.
Shall we talk about this? Welcome, everyone. Welcome. Yeah. Yeah. Is this resonating with anyone around what you've been experiencing with this new moon? And great to see you, Carlo, Lena, Alicia, Christine. So glad you're here. Where did I go? I'm here, I promise. I'm the one who left. Ha. Sensitive camera. Okay.
You went into the ether.
Into the ether. Yes, I'm practicing my my disappearing abilities and reappearing. Kind of like in Harry Potter when they'd like throw some dust and then they just like evaporate. I want to learn some of those fun Harry Potter like spells. It'd be fun to yeah, it's good Harry Potter watching time at this time of year. So Venus and Ophiuchus, from being able to touch the realm of creating life after death, right? That's the power of Ophiuchus. To then on the inverse, where have you had to hide because of those abilities? And then now at the new moon time, setting an intention for what you want to create. Does what I shared with you bring any awarenesses up, any cognitions? Anyone want to share? Anyone feel like they had some type of cognition or breakthrough going through that story?
Yeah, I feel like it's integrating really nicely, like interestingly. First of all, I notice in the way I'm taking notes, I notice that Virgo aspect because I'm doing it very precisely and taking my time, and almost in a way, it's like I should be quicker. Kind of like not be too perfectionist on this one, but that's just like the like the Virgo aspect. But in terms of what you're speaking about, Ophiuchus and the kind of tapping into the silence or listening into the silence to really tuning to what you wish to create in a kind of the way I perceive what you're saying is in a more deep way. So what you wish to create in a bit kind of like a deeper way. And so what you were saying next, it kind of it's helping to integrate it when you say about the example of the snake and mentioning that as a miracle and what's the biggest turnaround miracle that could happen. And for me, it's sort of this aspect of being throughout my life in the past, being interested in many different things. And I always come back to music. That's kind of the like I always come back to music, but I'm interested in other stuff like, oh, I want to do this. Now I want to do that. and then I'm like, oh no, music, and then no, I want to do this, and then that, and then oh, music, and then so the miracle would be to, like, the best feeling miracle, I guess, it's that everything that I went through while being interested, like, oh, now I want to learn about, just to give an example, astrology, and then diving really deep into it, and learning, or yoga, and diving it deep into it, and then come back to music. So the biggest miracle would be to kind of like come to a point where let's call it every step that I went through was meant to be part of the journey in a way that it makes sense. So like it's all helpful, like now I might make music and talk about many different topics, and the little project that I started back then, and the other little project that I started back then, and then the other project, and then the people I met, like everything coming together. And then I'm like, oh, it wasn't a waste of time. Let's say it was actually like I was gathering little pieces of here and there, like an armor or something, and now I have my full armor, something like that. Does that make
Right.
sense?
It feels like a lot of self-acceptance, right? It feels like instead of feeling like something wasn't good or it wasn't right, it was part of your process,
Mm,
which is like instead of cutting off part of
mm,
yourself, it's like including all the parts in. And so why don't we take this as a good opportunity? And I think everyone will find this really interesting to take what you were saying and then look at your chart and see where Venus in Ophiuchus is landing for you.
mm,
Because we each have 12 different arenas of our lives. And so knowing where Venus and Ophiuchus is in our individual charts gives us so much deeper awareness
mm,
of what the storyline is that we're currently going through. Because I can give you all this information, and it's going to apply to the whole group in a greater or lesser extent. But when we dive into this specific aspect for you, it's going to really reveal a lot more about, ah, this is why this area of your life is coming up in this way. Okay. So let's just jump on there and we'll take a look. We'll do this for everyone who's here tonight. So this is why I do astrology, right? As I love seeing the story of the big picture, but then like look at how it applies to everyone, right? Look at how we're going to look at Anthony's chart, and it's going to be kind of a different storyline for him. It's going to be a similar story, but specific for his life, specific for his reality. Okay. Excuse me. And so if we go up, and Alicia Law's got her chart open. She's at home. Yeah, so that's one of the benefits, right, of working with me one-on-one is you get your chart, and then you get a reading, and then when you come to my events, you're like, oh, I can just like go to town on my chart while she's talking. It's a lot of fun. Is that fun, Alicia?
Yes.
Right, yeah, she gets to dive in. So
I have Anthony's chart right beside it too.
oh, all right. And so you have your husband's chart, so you can, you could have as many people's chart open right now, just going for it and having a great time. And that's what I would be doing, right? And so ideally we'll have that kind of set up for everyone as we go forwards here. I will be doing a kind of cool thing starting next week for people who are part of Michael Grady and mine's membership. I'm going to start doing a once a month class for everyone in that membership around money with astrology. And so I'll be looking at everyone's astrology chart once a month to look at, where do they have cool things happening with money, challenging things, where are the good things and where are the challenges, right? And so I'm really excited about that because astrology can be applied to literally every area of life. And so it's going to be a lot of fun getting to offer that to people in our group. If you're interested, you want to join and experience that, definitely reach out. We also do 2 energy clearing calls around clearing blocks to money and wealth twice a month. So you're going to get 3 calls in that membership from the 2 of us, which is pretty amazing. All right. So looking at your chart. Oh, wow. This is pretty cool, guys. This is pretty amazing. So if I've done a reading with you before, you may know this. If you haven't done a reading with me before, then you may not know this. So what this is right here is very special. This is called the MC. It sits at the very top of the astrological chart. The MC represents what I call the star on the Christmas tree of your purpose. So if you're interested in what is my purpose? What am I here to give to the world? What is my mission? Knowing what your MC is, it's called the midheaven. What's at the very top of the sky at the moment of your birth is so, so powerful. And so for Anthony, he has his midheaven, his purpose at the very last 2 degrees of Scorpio. Remember when I spoke earlier, I said Scorpio is about initiations. It's about depth. It's about intensity. Really, it's the sign of the shaman. Now, trying to figure out a life purpose as a shaman, that could hold its series of challenges because in the past, someone with Andony's gifts would probably have been taken care of by the community and he would have been allowed to develop his training and administer his psychic abilities and skills out to the world. Yeah. And so without that, you have to kind of create your own support system for your abilities to blossom and grow. So maybe that's moving back in with family, or you find friends so that you can do the work, the spiritual work that you need to do to be available to do the work that you're here to do, which is what? To transmute, transform energy, people, matter, situations. You're a transformer. What? Yeah. Yeah. Your purpose is to transform people, things, events, right? So some good occupations, of course, would be as like an energy healer, as a shaman, could even be through music that you take people on like spiritual healing journeys with your songs and with your music, right? So it's like you love the music, but there's also a component of you that needs the transformational journey to really feel like you're fulfilling your purpose. It needs to go from one thing to another, right? So if like you had people in a group, and I'm sure we'd love to experience it, like, okay, we're gonna go on a transformational journey, and then you bring up the intense emotions and the energies with the music, and then you take us through that, and then you take us through like the integration and then the triumph, right? That's like a journey. So if you turn your music into a transformational journey, a healing journey, I think you're gonna find a lot of joy. And Venus, the goddess of love, the billionaire planet, is conjunct your midheaven tonight at the new moon.
Mm-hmm.
It is literally like 1 or 2 degrees away. So thinking about your purpose and what you're here to do is paramount to your life and your mind right now. It's like what you're thinking about the most, right? And it's receiving a lot of love from the feminine energy. Interesting. Interesting. I happen to be feminine, right? It's interesting, right? You're not here seeing a masculine teacher, you're seeing a feminine teacher. Interesting, right? So it all kind of lines up perfectly, generally with the astrology, what we experience. It's bizarre.
Mm-hmm.
And I just have to surrender sometimes if I'm like, I don't know, how do I feel about this certain planetary energy affecting me in this area of my life? Well, we're gonna find out, right? We're gonna experience it, and then we're gonna surrender through what we maybe didn't like as much and call in what we do want.
Mm-hmm.
Money could come through, you could make some money, and you could have some kind of healing around who you are and what your gifts are that you want to give out into the world. This is amazing. It is opposite your 4th house of the home and family, so it could also be bringing up some tension related to home. Ah.
Would it be very different to have the midheaven in Scorpion Ophiuchus? Because I remember that there's a chart that you showed me once that it was in Tijuana, and I took a screenshot, but it's just like a little degree like this, like rotated a little bit, and it was just it was just right in the middle of Ophiuchus, the midheaven, and I remember because I find it very cool because it's when you taught us about Ophiuchus, so I was like, oh yeah, that's super cool. So
Absolutely. So what I would say about that is that whatever sign it's in, whether it was halfway in Ophiuchus or it's 11 degrees of Scorpio,
Mm.
It's basically, you're going to want to look at both,
Mm.
right? Because you have, and the reason for that is that you have Pluto in Scorpio. So whether the midheaven went back into Ophiuchus or not,
Mm.
Pluto is there, and Pluto rules Scorpio.
Yeah.
So you have this huge planet, and huge not by size. Pluto is tiny. Pluto is huge of its intensity. Pluto is the god of the underworld.
Mm.
And Pluto is the one who got pissed at Ophiuchus. So there's a little bit of an interesting dichotomy between Pluto and Ophiuchus energy, where Pluto could represent the way things have been done energetically. So the way things have always been in the shaman world. And then
Mm.
along comes Ophiuchus, and it wants to just blast the traditions and do something totally new and totally different.
Yes, that makes sense.
So if Pluto's in, if midheaven in Scorpio or Ophiuchus, you're still going to read Ophiuchus because it's so close to it,
Mm.
right? It's like 1 degree away from Ophiuchus,
Mm-hmm.
whether it's this one or in the middle. So what I would do if I were you
Mm-hmm.
is I would study both, and they're very similar.
Mm.
They're very, very similar. One, Scorpio, is kind of like going through it, like the experience of going through it, like the dark night of the soul, like everything is so intense, and then
Mm.
you're reborn. And then Ophiuchus is kind of the sign that comes right after that. And it's the sign that says, well, what do we do with what we experienced? You know that feeling? Like you go through that dark night of the soul, and then it's like, okay, you've had the awareness, you start to have the insight, and now you put that into practice.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And so your purpose kind of straddles both sides of that, because Pluto's definitely in Scorpio, whatever way you cut it. And Pluto's a big energy of rules Scorpio. So you're both learning through going through your own initiations, how to
Mm.
help other people to go through them. And you also have deep talent and awareness and gifts with Ophiuchus. So you've
Mm.
probably been trained before. Like when I see Ophiuchus, it's like you've been trained before, right? I've told this to many of you. It's like, where did your training come from? What do you already know? What do you already know that you're not tapping into yet?
Mm-hmm.
And that's for all of you. Like, what do you already know that's coming up to guide you right now?
Mm.
And Carlo, I highly recommend you take the blur off uh, your video filter, and then it will be easier. Thank you. I like seeing both of your faces. Um, is that making sense for you?
Oh, yes. Yeah, it is. And I relate it with the, it's definitely relatable with music, because you talk about the midheaven being purpose, right? So I feel very good when I think of doing music that's what to me feels very different to what we've seen before. And in the pop culture and music, like I definitely have a very strong gut feeling sensation that the music of the future is gonna be different, or maybe not even so far in the future, but I sense, like, my feeling, like what feels best to me when I think of, oh, what music I'm gonna create, is just all this knowledge that I love learning. I love learning about lots of stuff, and as I mentioned, astrology, and what we learn in gin, and then like Rosicrucians, all this stuff that just Atlantis, all this stuff that for me is like very, very interesting.
Mhm.
Putting it into channeling it and putting it in, expressing it in something that I just feel so good at while doing, which is playing, singing, all of that, writing.
Mhm.
That's one of the best feelings. And I just feel so, um I guess safe or like solid in that scenario in my mind. Like, okay, if this is what I get to do in my with my life, that's the best. Like that's the best.
That makes a lot of sense that you would need music to be different and deep, almost like spiritual in a sense. Almost like you're talking about the Rosicrucians, you're talking about ancient secret societies, putting
Mm,
that into music. And
yeah.
that's what your midheaven has, this kind of higher level, accessing the sacred secret mysteries, taking people on initiations, taking people on transformational journeys. And
Mm,
that could be one reason why the music hasn't fully sprouted yet until maybe now, is that
mm,
you haven't known that you needed to include that sort of level of like
um,
sacred knowledge into it, right? Because music can be anything, right? You could just sing a song about eating breakfast, right?
yes.
You could sing a song about playing in the ocean, right?
Yes.
But what is the intention? And I think that's really true for almost everything that all of us do,
Mm,
is that when we're really going to make progress and go forwards in a specific way, having the intention down of what our intention is. What is our intention? Like my intention for tonight was to bring you this information so that this new moon could like transcend. Like it wouldn't just be an average new moon, it would like enable you to take your intellect, your awareness, your emotions, and line it all up, and then take the magic of the energy that the stars are sort of showcasing and then shoot it like a rocket out into the universe, shifting timelines, shifting DNA, shifting intercellular structures, and helping us to align to a reality that is transcendent. I didn't plan this, but that's what the intention was. That was
mm,
the feeling, was like, I want it to be this amazing experience for all of us, that we can use our tools that we have to just like blast into the interstellar outer space of our consciousness of what's possible. And I didn't even know that Venus was an Ophiuchus until like last night. And I was like, my mind was exploding. I was like, wow,
mm,
can't believe it. I was like, no wonder this new moon is just so out of this world, because Ophiuchus, right? It's like that. You remember when we were showing the video of the treasure? And at
mm,
first, it's like it's excited, wide-eyed wonder. And there's all these ancient relics and ancient statues. And then the light keeps going and keeps going and keeps going. That's like what we are. It's such an amazing representation of what we are, that we are within us the holders of sacred treasure in the form of knowledge, information, awareness from this lifetime and all the lifetimes going back. That's like what our inner world is like. Isn't that amazing? And that with Venus and Ophiuchus, it's like we're being given a key to the vaults of our inner world and the treasure house of our inner world.
mm,
Wow, what are we going to do in there? You know, it's a lot of stuff to go and get through, right? So like, oh, I'd like to have a guide for that. I'd like to have a big, torch light so I can see what I'm doing. So my hope is that this event tonight will be that light to help you go deeper into your own inner worlds in the next 24 hours, 48 hours, week, the next 7 days. Take this time as the reminder to get out your torch and allow the awarenesses, the deep listening for the sacred ancient knowledge, which is Ophiuchus, to come up for you, to hear it. It's almost like when the universe wants us to hear something very important, sometimes it will make our outer world, like going to go handle, daily routines, activities, go to the market, more challenging. And we're like, why is everything out there so not working right? That's
mm,
the cue from the universe. Hey, you have a date with yourself. You have a date with like some profound inner wisdom. Go within, then all will smooth out externally. Yeah. So I'm trying to do this new thing. When I tap in with you all with your chart, then we have a little bit of a conversation and everyone gets to see you more, because it's kind of hard to see each other with our charts. They're so big, right? So it's really nice to kind of have some of that connection and that communion, because we're kind of spread out, we're in Canada or in Mexico or in Florida or in California. So it's so nice to kind of, what I'm seeing it as kind of like a online living room, getting to kind of hang out across the US. And how awesome is that on this new moon? I think that one thing with this Venus and Ophiuchus energy, right, is that many of us are very advanced. And if you're on this call, if you're watching this replay, you're a very advanced soul. If you're following me, you're a very advanced soul. I only attract people who are just like on some type of next level frequency. And so it means that you've probably been on this earth for a very long time, and you've probably witnessed quite a lot of things. And so having other people who are at that level in your physical world is maybe not as common. And so it's very powerful for us to gather, because we're this ancient, sacred, knowledge holding community, that when we come together, our light amplifies each other. Can you feel it? Like our light starts to amplify each other. It's really something. It's really, really special. Did anyone else have a share or wanted to share a cognition or an awareness that's been coming up for you? Feel free to unmute, and I'd love to hear from you. And great work, Anthony. I'm kind of excited to see what you're going to come up with your music soon. I feel it evolving. Yeah. Would anyone else like to share a cognition, an awareness, something you've been sort of noticing? Yeah, go ahead. Yeah. Hi.
Well, let's see here.
How are you guys doing, by the way?
Doing well. Been busy.
Great, yeah. You got to go down and see Anthony William, the medical medium down in LA. That looked amazing. I loved it. Carlo had this great shirt he was wearing in one of the pictures with Anthony William. I was like, wow, that shirt is awesome.
Still excited.
So you're feeling, it looks like you're both feeling pretty good from that. What's been coming up for you two?
Let's see here. I was becoming more aware of things the more I do this. Yes, like just when you think you're like, oh, I can tune in and figure it out. No, there's more. There's always more. I'm like, oh, okay, I could tune into this, or I'll think of something, then 2 seconds later something happens. I'm like, oh, it's almost like I've seen this happen.
Right.
Yeah, like
That's why I love our mentor always saying you never get it, you're always getting it.
mm-hmm.
Shout out to everyone out in Chicago tonight at our mentor's huge, amazing family reunion event. This is like the energy has been blasting. I'm like feel like I'm like up here somewhere just feeling the energy is so high. They're probably cheering and clapping and like just wow, like the energy is loud in my ears just tuning into it. So just sending all of that. It's like it's such a gift what they're doing, really, like coming together like that. So I wanted to kind of keep the party going wherever we're at too, so that we can plug into that energy and that frequency. And we're always getting it, right? There's always more. There's always more. And it's so nice, right? Because like how boring would it be if there wasn't always more, right? So it's kind of a good thing. Okay, go ahead. Please share more.
Let's see. Just becoming more aware of like energies, especially in our living space. Used to the Oregon pyramid, things shifted. And we've even like, even cleaned the drains, because even that can like affect energies too.
Absolutely.
Kitchen, the washroom, just make sure those are maintained, and that makes a huge difference.
Does. It's interesting you bring that up, because the veil, and people talk about this a lot at this time of year, is very thin. And as a psychic and intuitive energy reader, it's always really interesting to kind of watch as the veil just like gets super thin, and then I'll be on a call and suddenly the psychic information is coming through like no effort. Like it's literally like there and there, instant. And I was working with someone today, and it was like a past life memory came through, just full color, every detail imaginable. Actually, she was the one remembering it. It was almost like a spontaneous past life regression. And it was so powerful and it was so beautiful, the healing that could come through on like the soul level, right? And so one of the most powerful things about the veil getting thinner and our awareness of energy getting stronger and you noticing energies around the house, there's a lot of dimensions beyond our just waking life, work life dimension. And one of the things that can become very real at this time of year is noticing energies in your home space. And sometimes energies that you're like, I don't think that belongs here. And so that's actually one of the areas that I specialize in that I haven't really talked about so much. I think a lot of you have experienced it on personal calls with me, but I work with helping souls that have not, it's called earthbound. I work with souls that have not gone to the light yet to go to the light. And I didn't know what I was feeling for most of my life. I thought I was just feeling energy around me or whatever. And as I got older and as these gifts have developed, I've realized that what I've been perceiving have actually been like disembodied spirits and like knocking at my door, like, hey, could you help me out? And I actually had a reading from a woman who said that I have like a cord up to heaven. She's like, I've never seen that before. And I was like, oh, what does that mean? Right? And so what I've realized is that we all have the ability to help other souls into the light. Okay? And so one thing you may want to do, what I'm picking up on, Carlo, is do you ever work with sage?
To smudge the space. That's about it.
Yeah. So souls that have passed, that can be very helpful. Like if you're working on helping them go to the light, and you can sage the house, and then you can also imagine opening up the portal to heaven, right? And ushering them on up to source. Or if you need help, you can reach out to me or someone else who does the same work. I do house clearings, land clearings, space clearings, clearings with people if you need that kind of support. So that's one of the things that I'm really excited to share more with people, especially at this time when the veil is really thin and it's the Day of the Dead, it's the day of our ancestors. I feel like there's a lot of people who exist in another dimension who actually need help to get up to the next level.
Mm.
Is it all right if I tune into your house right now and see if there's something that needs to be cleared there? Okay. Is that all right?
That's
Yeah.
okay. Do you need information or nope?
Nope, I'm just gonna tune into your space here. Uh-huh. So I get that there could be two souls that may need to get up to the light here. They could be related to the both of you. Okay. Okay. Would you like me to facilitate that for you? Okay. So on a scale of 0 to 10, when you tune into your home environment, and this is really neat because it's very palpable, the shift in energy when you're here, when we help people ascend that have been in our space. It's a very amazing feeling. So 10 is you feel absolutely amazing, and 0 is you don't feel good at all. What's the number?
Right now, currently, I'm just feeling a 4.
Yeah, good. Lena, how about you?
I'm feeling a 4 as well.
Okay, good. Okay. So in order to help you both feel better and also lift the mood of your house, and so if there's a soul around you or in your house that is not in the light, right? They're earthbound. Their vibration is one of death. It's a very, very low vibration, and it can cause us to feel tired, cranky. It can affect our abundance. It can affect our wealth flow. It can affect almost every area and arena of our lives. Okay. And so in order to help you feel better, sometimes that's the space that I work in, is to help those souls that are around you in your energy field to get up to the light. And if you have something like that happening for you, and with the veil being so thin, they're probably all drawn in by the light, like, hey, help me, help. because it's a very challenging experience for souls who are earthbound, because no one can hear them and they're not getting any energy except from us. And so it drains our energy.
Mm. I'm wondering if it's my dad.
Right. And that would probably be true. When
Mhm.
did he pass?
He passed on June 30th, 2020.
Okay. Yeah. And did you notice anything in your life change after that time in a big way?
We were driving back, like the day that he died, we were trying to drive back from Vancouver back to Calgary when I was still living there. And that was like the longest drive. Usually the 12-hour drive, it took like what, 16, 20 hours because of everything. And I feel like the backseat of my car at the time. Like,
Mhm.
yeah, that was my experience. So yeah.
Yeah, Christine was saying, I'm getting chills as you say that about the souls being drawn to our light. And that's a real thing, Christine. Like my whole life, these souls were coming to me and I never knew why until the last couple years when I learned how to help them. And I got the message, oh, you can help them. So they were coming to you. And so you may all have unknown abilities to help souls to the light, and they might show up sometimes and be like, hey, and you're like, what? Like I don't take calls from other dimensions. What is that? Like I'm used to like answering the phone. You mean there's another phone that rings? Like how the heck do I answer that? And so that's kind of been my life experience over the last couple of years, was learning how to answer the spiritual phone of other beings in other dimensions who need some facilitation. Trust me, I don't always relish this. I don't always want it. In fact, I've run away from this job for most of my life. No. But the line gets longer and the people out there keep coming. So let's see what we can do to help them, right? So when I tune into you, my dad, it's very deep. I don't know if anyone felt that, like when he brought up his dad, like I felt like a charge. If we bring up someone who's passed and there's a charge, that typically means that they're still here,
Mm,
still here. Yeah.
mm,
But if you bring someone up who's passed and it's like maybe there's emotion, but it's not like, you know, a charge is like, it almost like feels like the air gets heavy. Like you can like push it with your hand. You're like, what is that? That's when you know there's a real strong charge. There's potentially a soul who hasn't gone to the light yet. That's what I've experienced.
mm,
Someone and it's just like, yeah, I was, sad and I miss them, but there's not that physical, like, then they're probably in the light and have transitioned already. Okay. All right. So are you ready to help your papa get to the light, Carlo? Okay. So we're just gonna, what's his name?
Robert Keat.
Oh my gosh. I was at my friend's office the other night and I saw a form and it said Robert in big letters.
Mm,
I went, why am I seeing that name right now? Interesting. Okay. Yeah. So everyone on this call, you're probably feeling something because you're all pretty psychic. And Anthony said he helped his grandma get to light a couple years back. And I'm not surprised. You guys all have gifts. And so hopefully this will be a great lesson in how we can use those gifts at this time when the veil is so thin and we're probably being aware of a lot of things right now. Okay. So what did Robert die of?
I think it was a cardiac arrest or a heart attack.
Yeah, I was feeling my chest. I'm feeling like very heavy in my chest. Other people, you guys might be feeling it too. So what we're going to do first is we're just going to say hi to Robert. Hi, Robert. Hi to your dad. We just want you to know that you're loved and you're cared for. And we have to let you know, because a lot of times they don't know. This is the hardest part. We have to let you know that your physical body has died. And that's hard sometimes, especially when there are loved ones. It's really hard to have to tell them again, when we've already gone through all this stuff with them. We have to let you know, Robert, that your physical body has passed and that you now have an option to go up to the light. Oh man, I'm feeling so much emotion right now. Oh, yeah. And so I'm hearing he wants you to know that he loves you, very much. He's been trying to kind of help you and support you and help you be a man and grow up and get out there and There's a lot of tenderness and there's a lot of love for you here.
Mhm.
But, you know, he doesn't know how to, being able to help you, Robert, being able to help your son will be much better from heaven. Okay. And I'm feeling the anger you've told me about. There's a lot of anger there, frustration. I wasn't ready to go. I don't know if I'm ready to go now. Okay. And so what we're going to do is we're just going to open the gateway to heaven. We're just going to imagine the white staircase up to God. Oh, and just opening up the gate to heaven and the light. We're going to ask God and all of the angels to come in. Yeah, and you might need to yawn, and if that's just let it come through. And I want you to tell and we're going to invite all of your father's ancestors who are in heaven, who love him so much that he knows, these people that he knows who are in heaven, to start coming down the staircase. Oh my goodness, here they come. And so as they come down, he's starting to see that there's another path for him. He's starting to see that there's another future for him. There's another life. And you guys are going to feel a lot of energy as this is happening, right? This is us tuning into the energy of heaven. This is calling in God's energy to help help your father go up to the light. And so what you're going to say to your dad is you're going to say, Robert, you're going to say, Dad,
Dad,
go up into the light with God.
go up to the light with God.
Yeah. And if you need to, is there anything you need to tell him?
Just know everything's okay. Mom's okay. No.
He smiled when you said that.
Mhm.
He really smiled when you said that.
Mhm.
Okay. So tell him again, Dad, go up into the light with God.
Dad, go into the light with God.
That's right, Robert. It's time. It's time now. See, your ancestors are coming. Woo, okay, this is big energy. This is big energy. So feel that shift as he starts to go with God, as he starts to go up into the light. That's right. That's it. And we're going to ask Archangel Michael to help him. You might feel a ton of heat. You might feel really hot all over as this happens. So you just go with God, take God's hand, and he's helping. You guys are all helping. This is amazing. Go with God. That's it. And so feel your father take God's hand. Oh my God, this is amazing. Take God's hand. That's it. Now he's going up with God. Oh, feel that energy as he goes up with God. And as he goes up with God, all this light is just showering through for everyone. Just this gratitude and joy. It's like a symphonic choir singing. There's all this love. And we're calling upon the God angels to help you, Carlo, now as your father leaves. That energy is really big. His energy was big. And so the God angel is going to come and help you fill up your energy centers with golden light from heaven, so that as your father goes up into the light, you are receiving pure divine grace from God into your body, through all levels and layers of your body and being. And just this huge healing for your father, this huge healing for you. And anyone watching this, if there's someone you were thinking of, you can totally just call this in for yourself and for your loved one, seeing them go up into the light. Woo! And now I'm feeling your father just getting taken home to his family, his friends, all the people in heaven, and they're meeting at a tavern, they're having a cup of beer, they're having a cheers, a toast, and a healing. A deep, 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 deep healing. And all of you may feel incredible amounts of heat as this happens. That's God energy, true, pure God energy coming through. Oh, we thank God. Oh, we thank all of the angels. And we send Robert on his path, your father, up into the light. And as Robert goes up into the path of light, you receive all this healing from God and all the angels. Oh, so that you can step forward in your path and your mission on your journey to God. Feeling the great I am and the great oneness of God all around you. And that energy is going to fill up your whole apartment. Going to fill up your heart, your mind, your body. And you're going to see your dad just in the light. And asking God to give you the gift of forgiveness. Forgiveness for your father. Forgiveness of your father for you. Yeah. And as he left, he just said, please forgive me, Carlo. Please forgive me. Yeah. Oh. Oh. A lot of healing coming in. A lot of healing. Oh. Oh, thank you, God. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. And we just gently allow the gates to heaven to come closed. Thank you, God. Thank you, angels. Thank you, God, angels. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Wow. And just immense amounts of heat through my whole body. I don't know if anyone else is feeling it, but just hot, hot all over as the gates of heaven just gently come together. And we thank you, God, for this miracle. We thank you, God, for your love. And we thank you, God, that your father has gotten to go back up to heaven, back up to where he lives now. Just feeling that shift in your energy. Oh, feeling that shift in your home. Feeling this peace wash over everything now. Feeling better and brighter and lighter. And we just ask that all of Robert's soul fragments and parts that the two of you took on or absorbed be lifted up into the light, cleansed, purified, and returned back to Robert fully and completely. And then any and all of your soul fragments that he has be lifted up in the light, cleansed, purified, and returned down back to you. That's it. And just take a really deep breath in and out. Absolutely, yeah. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Beautiful. Good. And just inviting everyone to come back into your bodies. That was pretty powerful. Ground your energy back into Mother Earth. You can tap the side of your hands. Great job, Alicia. Yep, she knows what's up. Like side of the hand, grounding, side of the hand. Yeah, that was high frequency energy. I am like on fire. Did anyone else get really, really hot just now? Is that just me?
I just felt
I
like
know.
much
What's
heat.
that?
Felt more emotions than heat.
Okay.
I felt cold.
You felt cold. Okay. Yeah, coldness can also happen. Let me show you hot lotus. Yeah. That's funny. You know, lotus flowers can regulate their body temperature. They can actually get hotter and colder. It's bizarre. They're like the only plant that can do that. So heat and coldness are both signs of release. So sometimes the coldness can happen before the clearing comes through. There we go. Nice. There it is. There it is. Yeah. Nice. Woo. Yep. Alicia said, I momentarily got shivers, chills, and minor heat, not intense. So, okay. Yeah, ever since I went to Gary Spivey's spiritual retreat, when I came back, I've been having this extreme heat when I do spiritual work, which is something he talks about. So I don't know what happened there, but I'll take it. It's interesting. Thank you, Gary. Yeah, good. Yeah, same and many, many visions. Okay. Would anyone like to share your experience, Carlos, starting with you? And how are you feeling now?
Better.
Yeah. Yeah. So when you tune into your house in your apartment space, yeah, welcome back. 10 is you feel great and 0 not good. Or what do you kind of feel like now in your home space?
I feel like a 7 right now.
Fantastic. Yeah. So that can really shift how we feel. There could be more, but that's probably good for tonight for shifting. What about you, Lena? Did you have a big shift?
Yeah, I feel 7 came to mind as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. One thing I wanted to mention was it was interesting. Last night, I actually felt like there was a presence inside my home, and it felt like there was something there, like watching me or something.
Right.
Happened like last night,
Mhm.
and throughout the day today, I just felt like there was something in my unit. So it was interesting that you picked that up.
Yeah. Yeah, I was getting that. Like when Carlos started talking about the house and cleaning, sometimes our need to clean is that there's actually energy around us that needs to be clean. And so one great thing to do is you can find like Tibetan singing bowls for clearing your house.
We have
Those
one.
work very well.
We got a
Because-
couple
Mhm.
bowls we can use.
Yeah, and even just have it playing, right? When if you can't be playing the music yourself, turning that music on can be super beneficial because the Tibetan Buddhists are aware of all the dimensions. They know about hell realms, they know about ghosts, they know about all that stuff. And so yeah, their music can clear all kinds of things.
Mm.
Really good work, everyone. Yeah, Anthony, you said you had some visions. What was your experience like? I saw you really going into state there.
Oh, so when you said Anthony's helping, I felt like I was just there, but I was just experiencing it.
Mhm.
Maybe I was helping just by being there, but I love Archangel Michael energy. I just love it. It just well, to me it presents. I don't know if it's for everyone, but like it for to me it presents like a funny. I don't. Have you seen the movie Mary Poppins? And there's this guy that plays all these instruments like that, you know, like he's like in the street and he's walking and he's like, hey kid, or hey son, like something like that. So he was there and he was just like, oh yeah, we were watching everything happening from afar, like all the stairs and stuff. And he was like next to me, he was like, yep. Something like that. And I was like, whoa. And he even asked me for like, hey, something like, what can I do? Can I do something for you or something? And then I asked, and he just gave me like a little rock, like a token or something. I was like, okay, that's cool. Same as Alicia, I was feeling the chills and just pr present in what was happening, and then yeah, now it feels like a dream right now. Trying to you know, the feeling of trying to remember what I was experiencing. But yeah, definitely. Oh yeah, um, Carlos' data had very specific images. Like same when you said about the that he smiled. I also felt like a lot of joy and like very exuberant joy, like yes, like yeah, like up the stairs. It was just a lot of light, like just very bright images. And
Yeah.
yeah, I was just there because it was new to me. Well, I think
Familiar but new.
what is that?
Familiar but new.
Yes, exactly.
It's
Mhm.
very familiar for all of us, right?
Mm,
We all came from this place. We all came from this oneness field. And
mm,
every time I do a spirit, like assisting a soul back home, the light that comes through, it's the most powerful light energy I've ever felt, except maybe like at a birth, might
mm,
be the same level of intensity of light energy coming through. So it's a gift. It's a real blessing. Like when you help a soul go the next level, it's just very, very healing.
mm.
Yeah. So Carla, let's take a look at your astrology charts now. I'll get you some astrology in here too, and see where Venus and Ophiuchus is. Oh, how amazing! Of course, I can't make this stuff up. Like I don't look at your charts beforehand and plan this out, right? This is too funny, too appropriate. So you're like the opposite of Andoni, right? Where he has, or the same, oh, that's Andoni's chart. Sometimes computers are so strange. Like, why do you not go where I said to go? Okay. So there's Lena and Carlo being so in sync, as Alicia Law said, always. And so Andoni and Carlo kind of have opposite charts. So they have opposite ascendant signs. So where Andoni has Pisces rising, right? Carlo has basically Virgo rising, although it's Leo before Virgo. So that means that where, Andoni has Scorpio and Ophiuchus up top, Carlo has Ophiuchus down on the bottom. And he has his IC in Ophiuchus, which is the home. The IC is related to home and family, ancestry and DNA. And so this would be the most perfect time ever to help your father, who's your family member, to go to the light. Right? And it's sort of a time where home is emphasized. And also like making money at home, like Venus transiting your house of home and ancestry. Through healing your family and your DNA and your ancestry, big money may come in, right? Because Venus is the billionaire. So, doing ancestral clearing work, with your Reiki or tuning into the family and doing energy work, whatever it is that works best, whatever tools you want to use, this is a really good time for it. As we just spontaneously, without knowing this at all, it's so funny. We were able to bring that into being. Now you have your IC in the third house, which is the house of communication, which kind of makes this a little different because it's not the house of the home, it's the house of communication, which could mean that talking about your family, communicating about your family, expressing your thoughts, feelings, and emotions about your family, about your emotions, about your ancestry and your DNA could be a way that you get to the energy, frequency, and vibration that would manifest wealth and abundance into your life. Also, this new moon is happening in your second house, conjunct Uranus, which is the internet. So the next 2 weeks, but also I would say into the new year, because we're at this change of season. So we're into the winter now. And so this new moon in some ways, I think, could correlate to the entire winter, right? So whatever house the new moon is happening in, Andoni, I think that's happening in your ninth house. It's your ninth house of like travel and knowledge and training and scholarship. It might be a really powerful time for you for learning and growth for you, Andoni. Just expansion, travel. The next, like the winter months, you're going to really expand and travel a lot potentially. Okay. And then for you, Carlo, communication and family. Maybe even like, you're a Reiki practitioner, you're an energy healing practitioner. And so in a lot of ways, those of us who do energy work, we're kind of working with our spiritual family, aren't we? Like we're kind of drawing in clients who are like our spiritual family, and we're here to guide and support them, right? So you might find that the clients and the people that you attract may feel like home. You might be creating a home or like making your home more cozy and comfortable. It could also be that you're turning your home into a broadcast. There's energy with that, a broadcast facility.
Okay.
Right? Like getting your lights up, your camera, full. Might be a good time for a lot of video making.
That's what I was thinking. That's what I was thinking.
Uh-huh.
It's
Weird
about,
how that lines up like that.
it's about me bringing balance because I'm also working full time as well on top of that. So I was just trying to creating the time for that as well.
Yeah, yeah, having the right balance with it. Absolutely. Yeah. So whatever, Virgo energy means, and it's also Uranus and Libra is conjunct the sun and moon for you. So it's this new moon is very interesting because it's on the precipice. So that makes me think that we're on the precipice as well. That this new moon is like a bit of a completion cycle. It's the end of a sign versus the beginning of a sign, right? It's a new beginning, but it's like a shift too. It's kind of like, what else are we finishing that will enable us to have a healthy, balanced home life, routine, structure, rhythm? Like this need for a rhythm, isn't it? Like as we go into the winter, like our rhythm is changing. Like we need more quiet. We need more time off. We need more, but then how do we get that with the busy work schedule, right? So it's like we're trying to be in tune with how we feel and what we need. And at the same time, we have the requirements of work and life and money and business and being that like more outer self all the time, don't we, in this society? So how do we balance that? And so maybe one way that you could start balancing that, Carlo, is by building your broadcasting studio where you could have more time to create your own schedule. If you created a network where people knew that they could find you, where you maybe did interviews, you did audios, maybe you start a podcast. I mean, you have the talent and ability, you know, the people. I feel it coming for you, but making the time for it.
Yeah,
You can start by interviewing Lena.
for
Right?
sure.
You have like the perfect, like you have a second person there, like whenever you want. So
You could be a guest on my show.
yeah, happily. Yeah, anyone starts a podcast. Let me come on. That's my favorite thing. It's my favorite thing. Let's talk about cool stuff, right? Yeah, it's so good to see you all. I just want to take a moment to just, really relish the goodness of being here with all of you and the goodness of each other. And it's just like the world has felt so stressful, right? People are so on edge right now. And so to really just treasure this kind of precious moment of being here. Oh, that's fine, Alicia Law. Being here. Alicia Law's like, I'm eating. Oh, it's okay. We're gonna treasure your presence while you're eating. That's fine too. And you can keep your camera off. That's totally fine. I've been, after I went to the spiritual retreat with Gary Spivey, who's a world-renowned psychic, spiritual channel, energy healer, something in me has been going through such a deep, profound shifting and changing. You may have noticed like I haven't been recording as many lives, and because I've been like processing so much awareness. And so that with that awareness has come this really deep gratitude. Like I'm just sitting here, I'm like, oh, like my heart just feels like this joy. It's like, oh, look at these beautiful people who are so devoted. Like each of you are just such deeply devoted people, right? Devoted to your path, devoted to your mission, devoted to what you're here for. And I want to just give you that encouragement and appreciation for that, because I don't think enough people get to hear that. Just like you're doing a good job. Like even if you're not exactly where you want, you're not at the top of the mountain yet, right? Maybe you're not like fully there where you want to be yet, but you know what? You're working on it. You're working on it every day, and you care, and you're striving, and you're freaking doing it. And so many people get lost, and they don't even ever attempt to climb the mountain. They don't even, And so I just really want to acknowledge all of you here watching or on the replay for like continuing to keep going, because it's not easy in this time. It's like you're a PhD student. You're all getting our PhD in life, And it's full on every day. It's full on of all of our unprocessed emotional triggers, ancestral inheritance, past life wounding, spirits from other dimensions. We're just trying to milk the cow, make the toast, eat the applesauce, say hi to a couple friends, and it's so real, man. It's so real. And so I just really want to take this moment to just really honor and appreciate all of you, because the truth of it is, it's about the journey. Right? And as much as I want to help you all get to where you're going, I also want to help you all to remember, are we enjoying the path? Are we enjoying the journey? If we're not there yet, can we still start to enjoy where we are? Enjoy. Enjoy. And it's like, I'm feeling so much joy just being here with you all. Because I see you. We take off all the layers of expectation of who we're supposed to be or what we're supposed to be. We're all friggin' so beautiful. And that's really who we are. And this world doesn't appreciate that enough. Right? Like, it'd be so great if every street we walk down, we're like, hi, I love you. It's so good to see you. I don't know you, but I know it's just, you're beautiful. Can you imagine that? Oh man. And it's like, it's so nice to be around you all, because I know you'll laugh at my jokes and stuff, right? And like, you'll say hi and you'll like respond back to when I say ask a question. And it's like, out in the world, I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen, right? You may get a nice person, hopefully. Yeah. So it's really important right now to really take care of your emotions, because with the intensity of Venus and Ophiuchus, which is mastering our initiations. What are our initiations? Dark nights of the soul, challenges, obstacles, letting go of attachment. We're still friggin' human, okay? Yeah, and it's through our like compassion of who we are that we'll get there faster. Like, it's through the like acknowledgement of like, I feel so overwhelmed right now, or I feel so whatever. Then it's okay again. So I really want to encourage you to like take time to acknowledge whatever you're going through, and like, it's okay. Okay, it's okay. And that by acknowledging whatever it is you're going through and wherever you're at, you'll get there faster. Right? It's like rush, rush, rush. We got to get there tomorrow at 8 a.m. Rush, rush, rush. I don't have time to feel. Okay. Give yourself 5 minutes. And give yourself, if you need to, let yourself throw a tantrum. My partner, he he remembers when he was little, he'd like do this little like dance like with his body when he like needed to like throw a tantrum, and he like does the funniest mock up of it now. That like like always makes me laugh so hard. You're like, play with it. Like, if you get frustrated or overwhelmed, like, let yourself freaking feel it, man. Okay, get it out. Because we have that in the astrology. Oh, let me show you this. So, remember Pluto? I talked about Pluto before. Pluto's that planet of intensity. Pluto's the planet of the volcano, volcanoes of emotion. All right. So if we look at the chart and we think about the collective, I love how the computer doesn't move when I ask it to. Right? Like, let it out. Let out the frustration. All right. So Pluto. Pluto was retrograde for like 3 months. Pluto is the planet of the volcano. volcanic emotions, volcanic explosions, people losing their whatever. Okay, now it's moving forward again. Thank God. Because that was a time we had to deal with all kinds of stuff. Well, Pluto is moving into or is exactly opposite Mars. Anyone want to unmute and describe what you know about Pluto?
Well, I remember speaking with my yoga teacher when which actually I'm curious about something too about the what does it mean that we went into the age of Aquarius, but a couple of months or maybe 5, 6, 7 months ago, I was speaking with my yoga teacher and we were talking about this age of Aquarius, and I thought it was that Pluto went into Aquarius or something. So it was all this transformation, all these like big transformation is something that I relate to Pluto.
Yeah, big.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. So here are some examples of Pluto transformations. Ready?
Okay.
Being born.
Uh,
Yeah, kind of a big deal.
uh,
Becoming a teenager, kind of a
mm,
big deal. Getting married. Um, Losing a family member. Dying. Having a huge presidential election that everybody's losing their heads about. That's kind of Plutonian, isn't it? Kind of like, whoa, intense. Yeah. So Pluto is intensity. Now, it is directly opposite, and I think I can show you through Stellarium this a little better. So it's directly opposite Mars. Wow, there's this whole world here. I've never had the world view. Interesting. So let's find Mars. Mars is in Taurus. Okay. Yeah. No, I'm sorry. Mars is in Cancer. Where is my head at tonight? Okay. Mars is in Cancer. So there's Pisces, there's Aquarius. My world got all spun around. Jupiter and Taurus. There's Aries. There we go. It's under the horizon line. There it is. Okay. So here's Mars. And it's directly opposite Pluto. So Pluto is up here in Sagittarius. And Mars is down here. There's Musita. Mars is down here in Cancer, which is the sign of emotion. So, what does that mean? Well, anyone know what Mars is about? Anyone want to unmute and share? There it is. There's Mars. Cancer. Okay. What is Mars energy? Anyone want to share? I like this post by Christine. I saw, yeah, go ahead, Carlo.
First thing that came out, like it's kind of like a masculine energy.
Yeah. 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 So Mars kind of has its good side and its bad side, you know, just like women do, right? Like Venus has a good side and a bad side. Mars can be strong and courageous and leadership energy, taking charge, going into action, being the man on his horse riding into battle, right? Well, what's the dark side of the masculine? What are some emotions that Mars, some negative emotions that Mars might be?
the anger, rage, cause like kind of like war, right? Like the aggression, all of that.
Is known as the god of war, yeah.
Mm.
Not such a great thing, right? So Mars is in the sign of Cancer. Well, what is Cancer? Yeah. Anyone want to, what do you know about Cancer? What is the sign of Cancer about? And if you don't know, that's okay. I'm going to pull it up here for us. Cancer is the sign of the home and the mother. So Mars in Cancer is like not a super comfortable fit. Okay, so Cancer energy. Give me a minute for the screen to load. Yeah, Christine says Cancer's home family, Mars can be aggression. Yeah, so Cancer can also represent the homeland. You know, like think about a mom and her baby. People want to protect that, right? Like the mom is always protected. Like who in the family would you like protect the absolute most? Probably the mom when she's pregnant, right? It's like you have something so precious, so delicate, so divine, delicate. And so you would probably want to protect mama in her pregnancy. I'm going to get some slides up for what Cancer energy is. Now, Mars is aggression, can be violence, can be strength. And so with Mars in Cancer, right, the sign of the home. Oh my goodness. You guys are learning all about my slide deck tonight. So many images. Yeah, I really want to teach another class so I can bring these all out and go into it. Cancer is the sign of the home. It's all about nurturing, nourishment, the phases of the moon, the mom, our memories, the past, our heritage, our ancestry. So when a planet is in Cancer, we get pretty emotional because it's a water sign, which is the emotions. And we feel very protective. We feel a little bit like protective of wanting to go out into the world. Like for all of you to be on this call tonight probably took a lot of courage, right? Because Cancer is this energy of really protection and safety. Like think about your home, like protecting your home, putting on surveillance, you know, making sure everyone in your home is safe. Homeland security, right? So when Mars is in Cancer, there can be a sort of militant, masculine energy that really wants to protect things that are vulnerable, like the home, like homeland security, like the border, right? Like our homeland. And so there's a very strong masculine energy around wanting to protect the home, the mother, the family. Okay. It can also lead people to be exceptionally emotional about the homeland, about the mother. Like, look at this energy of Cancer. It's like, it's so wet and like, it's all about, you know, here's a mom nursing a baby. It's just emotional, right? It's just so emotional. And so this is a really great quote to have right now as our guide about emotion, because Mars and emotion can mean, Mars in the sign of emotion can mean that we're having a lot of emotions come up to the surface right now. An emotion is only an emotion. It's just a small part of your whole being. You're much more than your emotion. An emotion comes, stays for a while, and goes away, just like a storm. If you're aware of that, you won't be afraid of your emotions. So this is the time when emotions get high. Venus in Ophiuchus, which is intensity. It is. Mars in Cancer, which is also another type of intensity, more emotional, that we may be feeling a lot of intensity individually and collectively at this new moon time. And so letting yourself be like the ocean, letting the emotions come through you and wash through you, crying if you need to, feeling very deeply. These are all things that are happening inside of us, and they're also happening in the collective. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And so I'm sure all of you, as I'm sharing this, are kind of You know, is this making sense? Is this kind of explaining some things for you? Yeah, go ahead, Alicia.
So, yeah, I've definitely been feeling a lot more, I think, emotional the last while, but then also just, and very like, um, much more introverted. And even like, I think you were mentioning at the beginning of the call, like wanting to go out and do things is just, I mean, this call doesn't feel as intense of kind of a going out to do things, but going out to, which is kind of funny. Um, but going out to, like I have friends who are going to Day of the Dead festivities, like friends who are going to different, I don't know, parties or get-togethers, and I feel like I can't, I'm just, I feel a lot more reclusive.
Internal.
Yeah, internal, and then also just, I think, exhausted.
Mhm.
I know that you were saying to me the other day that today was a very good day for clarity, but I've just been, I feel like I've mostly just been almost very tired and
Mhm.
sleeping a lot, or not wanting to do anything at all. So,
Yeah. For the emotionally, intuitively, energetically sensitive people, right now is a lot of energy. It's a lot. Like even I'm finding myself like, whoa, you know. So what I've been doing to stay sane is that I'm right near this Tibetan Buddhist retreat center. And so I go with the dogs, I walk, and then I spin the prayer wheel, which has got billions of prayers in it. And I'm like doing that every day. And it's helping to clear the smog of the collective energies of the planet, which are dense right now. So you might be designed for world service. You might be here helping to contribute energy to help the planet to heal, to evolve, to go the next level. And so doing a daily practice, and so here's something I can show you to do, everyone, for when you first wake up right now with all of these energies. Oh yeah, and Christine just said we just had a huge influx of light and a recent X-class solar flare. Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot of energy. So, right, these are these are very good times for nurturing thyself, caring for yourself, really like being tender like you would to a baby with yourself, right? This is good time to take action on your home, making your home really nice, like taking action with your family, making sure your family, everything is working well. Taking action on your food, your diet, like making sure you're eating well. Okay, so because we're so energetically sensitive right now, we may find that we're waking up and we're feeling the density of the planet and all the thoughts of everyone else. Okay, so I want to invite you. So go ahead and rub your hands together, and just every day when you wake up for the next week, I want you to do this. Wake up and just tune into what you feel. Tune into what you feel. Tune into what's around you. Good. And you're just going to ask God and Source, and you're going to just say, please, God, put anything that is not mine, that does not belong to me, that doesn't serve me into my hands. You're just going to take a deep breath in and out. And you're going to imagine that anything that is not yours, that does not belong to you, that is not serving you, becoming magnetized into your hands, being transmuted, being transformed, right? Because it's like we're all energetically sensitive and we're all picking up on all of these thoughts, feelings, and emotions of the world. And there's just way too much thinking going on. There's way too much. He said, like fighting. We don't need that. That's not going to get us the solution to need. We need to have clarity and peace to vibrate and transmit peace. Right? Peace within is what creates peace without. So you can just say anything in the way of me having peace in my mind. Oh, peace in my heart. Peace in my body. Yeah, anything in the way of me feeling peace in my body. Then God, Source, universe, please transmute it. Please transform it. Anything around me, anything near me, that is in the way of me feeling peace within, peace in my world. I can need it. Give it up to God, give it up to source, let it transmute up and out through your body, through your being. Oh, yawn it out, let it go. And anywhere you've been carrying the weight of the world, the weight of other people, your friends, your family, or you've been here to alchemize something for the planet and you haven't known how, just ask God to help it alchemize through you. God, angels, higher self, please take this tiredness, please take this heaviness. Oh, please take anything that does not serve me, that does not belong to me, and please alchemize it, please send it up to the light. And you can put this on, you can come to this replay, you can put this on and you can just rub your hands together and ask God and ask the angels to just alchemize anything and everything that is not yours, that does not belong to you, that you do not need. And you see it alchemizing in the light, transmuting, transforming, shifting, changing. And then as that shifts, just say God, and you can call in your God angels, please come in and help me have more energy, help me have more clarity, help me have more direction, guide me on what steps to take in my life, help me know what next steps to do, help me to know my path, help me to have clarity, help me to feel protected, help me to feel safe and guided and directed. And just feel that energy flow through you, a new life force, new prana, new you, as you let go of that which is not you. Right? You notice like, oh, there's more room, and so now the good stuff can come in, and you can just say, God, angels, higher self, please give me the spiritual gifts that I need now to help me on my path. Please give me the divine spiritual gifts that I need now to help me on my path, to know where I'm going, to know what I need, and to feel love. God, please give me the spiritual gifts to feel love, feel cared for, to know that I am loved. As that energy comes in, just notice the shift. Notice the shift, shake out your hand. Notice if you're feeling hot, you can put your hands on your eyes. If you've created all this energy, you can send that energy back into your body. Good. Sending healing to yourself. Healing through all the levels and layers. Good. Breath in and out. Yeah. Beautiful. And notice how you feel now, Alicia. How you feel. How do you notice?
I think I'm feeling a bit better. Thanks for sharing that. I'll definitely try doing that in the morning.
I mean, it's like an everyday right now. And every Mhm. The other thing, food.
Pardon?
The other thing is food and diet, right? With the sun and moon in the end of Virgo, that's important right now. It's challenging because the weather's changing, and so we're craving hot food. We're
Yeah,
craving,
I've definitely been craving hot food. I've been just aversion to cool food right now.
yeah. The only thing is that when we have solar flare activity, the radiation levels are higher, which means that what our body also needs is raw food. Well, kind of a way to get around this in the autumn is pomegranates because they're raw. And so you'll get a lot of antioxidants and vitality from them, life force. And And they're also the quintessential best fruit for the season. Because in Ayurveda, as we get into the autumn, and Ayurveda is an ancient Indian health science, it's like the sister science to yoga. There are certain tastes that get emphasized at this time of the year. And Ayurveda is a really great thing to study with the sun and moon in Virgo at the new moon time, because it helps us to learn how to bring balance, harmony, and healing into our daily lives, our daily routines, our daily schedule, knowing what time of day is good for what, knowing what foods are good for when. It's very practical to help you live a healthy, happy life. And so pomegranates are their ideal food for the tastes that are emphasized right now. And so the tastes that are very beneficial for us at this time of the autumn season are sweet. Sweet is good. Astringent, like a pomegranate is astringent, and bitter. So like salty and sour are two flavors that are not as beneficial at this time. Interesting. Of course, you might want to have a little salt, but be just aware, like what tastes are you really emphasizing? And if you're noticing, oh, if I eat some really sour food, like I noticed I had some, some sauerkraut, and I was just like all off. I was like, I feel like a train wreck after eating this sauerkraut. I was like, what's the deal? And then my mom was like, sour is not a good taste right now. And I was like, oh, that's for real. Like I love sauerkraut, but it's just the time of year is not as beneficial, because in Ayurveda, they divide us up into three main groups: Vata, Pitta, and Kapha. Three main body types. So Vata is airy and tends to be very dry and moves very fast. And so Vata needs things that are nourishing and sweet and heavy to kind of settle the airiness of Vata. Pitta is heat. It's hot and fiery. So they need cooling things like cucumbers and mint and rose water to help settle their excess heat. Arlo, I'm looking at you. And then not too much spice. Like spiciness can really throw someone off who's very pitta, because it's like too much heat. And then the third one is kapha. And kapha is slow and heavy and wet naturally. They tend to have like a more round physique, right? And they tend to be like tend towards tiredness. I think, Alicia, you would have some of that kapha energy. And with that, you have to be really careful of sweets. And I'm sorry. And this is
Oh no.
yeah. So look up kapha, look up dietary choices for kapha, because if there's too many sweets, that's going to increase the slow, heavy energy of kapha and tend towards tiredness more. Now, you might do better with like a lightly sweet cookie that has cardamom, right? Or like spicy, like it's on the spicy side and it's way less sweet to kind of satisfy that need for treats. Like treats are important. I think we all need treats, but knowing what type of treat is going to be the most beneficial. Ginger snaps. Yeah, ginger snaps might be really great. So good suggestion, Christine. Love it. It's so great when we come together, because we have all these minds, right? And they say two heads are better than one. Well, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I think. Am I right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 6 minds going on here. So that's very exciting. So that might be another thing, is like increase your raw food intake at this time. And also look up kapha and see what your dietary choices and habits are. And if they're emphasizing, because this time of year is naturally very sleepy and you might need more rest anyways. But also what we're eating can be really affecting us if we have Mars, which is kind of an aggravating energy and the sign of nourishment, Cancer. So I feel like what we're eating is super important. Does it help us feel nourished? Right. And we also have a lot of energy for it. So delicious. Yeah. It's a great time for cooking. So it's such a good time for cooking, because Mars is fiery and Cancer is water. And what is almost everything we do with cooking involve? Fire and water. Yeah. And so one really good way for us to kind of get into the Mars and Cancer energy of this time is like go to your kitchen, throw down some water, throw down some food, and like play with like, okay, if I put in too much water, it's too wet. If the heat is too high, it gets burnt, right? And so we're really learning this dichotomy of balancing our heat and our emotions, right? Our heat and the emotions. And so you might find that people may get too fiery out there, or they may get too emotional. There's this kind of broad, kind of mood swingy vibe with Mars in Cancer, like, oh, they're crying over here and they're yelling over here. So go in the kitchen, get your water, get your fire, and practice the art of alchemy, right? Practice the art of allowing, practice the art of mixing the elements. It's also a great time for home design, interior decorating, interior design. So let's look at your chart, Felicia Law, again, and see where, ooh, you have this amazing Venus. We didn't talk about this in your reading last week, right? We didn't talk about Venus and Ophiuchus because I didn't know about it yet.
Can't talk about what you don't know.
Exactly. We can only do our best with what we do know, right? And they say hindsight's 2020. Well, maybe we can work on being more comfortable with now sight, having more 2020 sight with the now moment, if that's making any sense. So I'm going to go here. Go to your chart, which is in a different location. In a moment here. And I'm really glad you all popped on. I feel like we're doing some collective communal therapy for the planet. Feels like the world is going through it, needing a therapy session. And we're all part of this world. And so we feel it, right? We feel the world. Okay. I'll make sure the birthday is hidden. Yeah. So this is a great time, y'all, with the new moon to the next couple days. I recommended to someone that they start a notebook and put their name on it and really see the next week or so as a really good time to just kind of go inward and tune in and get in touch with what is it you want to create in your life, in your world, because there's so much energy for manifestation right now, right? With Venus and Ophiuchus, there's just so much energy for it. Okay. So we get to your chart, Alicia Law, and of course, we still have a lot of lines because this is the more complicated chart. And I see that the Venus in Ophiuchus is exactly in your second house of wealth and finances. And it's currently conjunct the planet Uranus. So both you and Carlo, and actually me as well, have Venus and Ophiuchus conjunct Uranus. And so what is Uranus? Uranus is technology. It's invention. I always think of Nikola Tesla. It's new ideas. I would, if I were you, keep your mind and body and heart open to ideas and innovations right now. Things, oh, absolutely, Carla. Yeah, great to see you. And if we see you later, we do. And if not, much love and gratitude for you. Yeah. So Uranus with Venus, that can be innovation and technology. That can be money coming through technology. That can be shifts and changes coming through for you. It's also conjunct your sun moon midpoint, which is the house of that's you. That's the core essence of you. Right. So remember I said the sun moon is conjunct your house of identity and your Venus, which is your soul planet, and Venus in the sky is also conjunct your sun moon midpoint, which is another area that is like very symbolic of you. It's like your core essence self. There is the chance that with Venus aspecting your sun moon midpoint in Ophiuchus, it could be bringing up past life stuff in a pretty big way. Sorry. I was hoping like I didn't have to like say this to anyone tonight. Like I'm always like, oh, let's see, should I mention it? But Ophiuchus is associated, right? Remember we talked about both the ability to create miracles. I am so hot right now. I shouldn't say that. But I have like temperature. It's just very, very warm. So it's better. Ophiuchus and Sun Moon midpoint in your second house. This could relate to past lives where things related to security, safety, and abundance. There was something that happened because of your profound spiritual gifts, right? So Ophiuchus, the snake tamer, both was able to bring a snake back from the dead, which is pretty miraculous, if you ask me. And he also got killed because of that same gift. So it's very possible that you could have a past life coming up where perhaps you created some type of miracle with money, like some type of miracle with wealth. Maybe you had great wealth, maybe there was great abundance, and then maybe you were also persecuted for that same thing. And so with Venus there, it could be a really powerful time for healing that. Like that could be significant of an opportunity of healing for you around this. So as I'm speaking and sharing this with you, what do you notice in your body?
My chest is like super tight.
I could feel it. I almost heard like, don't say another word, please. Like I'm getting very uncomfortable.
And then I think I also noticed the Chiron, I think, was highlighting the what is it? Is it the South Node or something?
So Chiron is opposite it.
Oh, in today's chart, I think, or today's date.
So Venus is both conjuncting your sun moon midpoint, which is your core essence self, and it is also opposite your Chiron, which is the wounded healer. So if you're tired right now, I can't say I'm surprised, because you're probably having a very deep past life like opportunity for healing is what it is. It doesn't feel like it. It just feels like why am I so tired and exhausted and I need to go to sleep. But really what it is an opportunity for you to heal something very deep and very old and very ancient. So with that said, would you like to?
Yes.
So on a scale of 0 to 10, I want you to tune into your heart space and the tightness or intensity, just as I'm talking about like persecution, especially around like having a great ability or having great wealth, and then persecution trauma. And then tell me on a scale of 0 to 10, 10 being extreme intensity and 0 not at all, what's your number?
9.
Yeah, it's really high. I'm getting super hot as we talk about this, which tells me that this is pretty major. Okay. Where do you feel it in your body?
I feel it in my head, in my chest.
And
Kind
is
of
there
core.
and where else?
Center, or just my center line.
Yeah, that's where I'm seeing it too. So is there a color that comes to mind?
White.
Yeah, so white can be completion, which is not always a good thing. Like, white is the color of like funerals, right, in China. So
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, so there could be like some death energy here. And when I say that, what does that light up?
Yeah, just kind of the center line here.
Yeah. Death is not an easy thing. Even if we're in a next lifetime, sometimes the death experiences of our past lives can be like a PTSD. I know I've had to clear all kinds of past life PTSD death experiences, and with it being the Day of the Dead and death being so highlighted with Halloween and the costumes, it can be bringing a lot of stuff up for us. Okay. So if you find you're not having the energy, you're not feeling called to do things, it is the astrology, but more than likely it's also a deep trigger. That's probably what's going on. Okay. So just tune into that center line, Alicia Law. You're doing great. Tune into the color. Okay. And so we're gonna do something a little different here. Just gonna tune into that. And all of you watching, whether you're watching the recording or now, you can use this opportunity to tune into anything that this is bringing up for you and to tune into yourself and see, okay, if there's something kind of coming up for me similar to this, more than likely it will be. Okay. And so I get a past life thing here. Okay. And it goes back how many lifetimes? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. About 20 lifetimes back. So quite a ways. Okay, and the main emotion is grief. Yeah, and grief tends to make us very, very tired. Very tired. Yeah. Great work. Okay, so we're going to take our hands. I want everyone to tune into some grief that they're feeling. We can clear this out of us. We can clear it out of the collective. We can clear it out of all of humanity. Oh, where'd I go? There I am. I'm the one who left the party. There you go. Okay. I do left. That's me. Okay. So just tune into where you feel the grief. If you need to yawn, that's great. That means you're clearing. That means you're releasing. You guys, clearing is a full-on thing, it's a full-on process because we have to feel it in the way. You have to feel it on the way. And so give yourself permission to feel what's there because as we feel it, guess what? We get to feel it. So we shall feel into that grief, feel into that core channel. It's very deep, very raw. I did a past life Chiron healing right before this call, actually today, and we actually did it. I'm pretty amazed. So I have great faith, and
Wow,
yeah,
good job.
yeah. I mean, she was ready. It was right. Everything lined up. But it felt successful, and thank you, God, for that ability to help us to heal at the soul level when we're ready. So I'm going to call on your God angels, and God angels are incredibly powerful angelic beings of love and light. And I'm calling your God angels to assist you with this clearing. So you don't have to do it all on your own. You can actually relax a little bit and kind of let the God angels take over from here. So you rub your hands together, but you're going to kind of let the God angels help you because they know how to do it. They know what to do. And so tune into that grief, that sadness, and that loss down the core channel. And it's been there for a very long time. In fact, it feels so much like your energy and you, and you thought it was you, and you thought it was your core. But really, it was built on this very deep grief. And this deep grief is not you, and is not yours, and you do not need to keep it. It's actually separate from you. It's a different energy entirely from you. So you can allow it to begin to kind of shift and transmute and change and disattach from your core. Kind of turn into mush, turn into steam, turn into something that can transmute and transform. And then by the power of God, by the power of Source, and by the power of the Creator of all that is, it is commanded that all of that grief, all of that sadness, all of that loss from that lifetime, please expand your energy out 5 feet to the right, 5 feet to the left, 5 feet up, and 5 feet down. By the power of God, by the power of Source, by the power of the Creator of all that is, it is commanded that that grief and that loss and that sadness be allowed to release and clear. We command it to release and clear on the core, on the genetic, on the soul level. We command it to be pulled and resolved on the historical level, and anything and everything in the way of it being able to just let go, transmute, transform, any reversals in the way of that. We ask for complete change, history, and everything is needed. Levels 1, 2, and 3. Please take a deep breath in. Please take a deep breath out. Good. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Good. By the power of God, by the power of source, and command this grief back lifetime after lifetime be allowed to release it. Command it to release and clear on the fourth. And on the soul level, we command it to be fully resolved on the historical level and replaced on all levels with the Creator's truth or definition of pure unconditional love, compassion, forgiveness, peace and calm, happiness, love, and joy. Take a deep breath in. And anything, everything in the way of this density, this memory, this intensity, this baggage, this level of awareness and grief that you've carried for lifetime after lifetime, to just begin to unmute, unsend, unoil, and let go. We ask for a complete change history. And everything is needed. Levels 1, 2, and 3, and we ask pure golden light to now flow down through your spiritual body, down through your God cord, and down through your physical body. Taking a deep breath in and out. Deep breath in and out. Okay. Tap the sides of your hands. Tune into this worry, this grief, this sadness, this loss, this deep, 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 deep down. Everything, anything that brings up or lets down, we ask for a complete change history, and everything is needed. Levels 1, 2, and 3, anywhere and everywhere that you have held back, you have held in, you have not known how to handle or process this level of intensity. And this many lifetimes back, we just ask for a complete change history, and everything is needed. Levels 1, 2, and 3. You know. And just coming back into the here and the now, this present moment. Breath, you can shake out your energy field. And tune into your energy body. Falling in that pure golden light down through your God cord, down through your spiritual body, down through your physical body. To light you up. Fill you with God energy. And then God coming. And anything and everything in the way of God energy coming in. We ask for complete change history, and everything is needed. Everything is needed, levels 1, 2, and 3. And any lower held dimension levels in the way of letting this energy shift and transmute and transform. We ask for a complete change history. And everything is needed, levels 1, 2, and 3. Let's take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. In and a deep breath out. Good. Just feel your energy moving and flowing. Golden light flowing into your spiritual self. Golden light flowing into your God core. Spiritual golden light flowing down into the body. And coming down into the earth plane. Back down to earth. Breath in and out. Okay. Wonderful. Okay, how are you feeling, Alicia? What do you notice?
I'm feeling better. There's still just a bit of like tightness in my chest. But it went from a bigger feeling to kind of a very like condensed tight feeling to it's a lighter feeling, but there's still a little bit of heaviness, like more on the left side.
Yeah. So all this heaviness, all this density on the left side, whatever that brings up or lets down, we just ask for complete change history, and everything is needed, levels 1, 2, and 3. And just take a deep breath in and out. Tuning into that density, Getting into that intensity. We just ask for a complete change history. And everything is needed. Levels 1, 2, and 3. Now I'm just channeling God energy around that left side. And anywhere and everywhere there's any blockage there. All of dense energy, pain, memory, trauma, we just ask for complete change history. I don't know if you could hear me burp. And everything is needed. Hope you didn't. Garlicky.
It's okay. My Frenchies keep burping and like farting in the background, so I'm hoping it gets picked up on the Zoom call.
That's right.
Just like unfazed.
They're down, you guys. Right.
Yeah, pretty
Unfazed,
much.
uncaring, being human over there. Being...
Mm.
Okay, how does your chest feel now?
Show you, they're right here.
Oh, that's so cute.
No, it feels better. I could feel kind of like more of the energy and heat when you mentioned you were channeling like the god energy.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of felt like the knot loosened a little bit and just kind of settled a little. So but
Yeah,
it seems like a lot happened in, I don't know, 20 lifetimes back.
I think too. I definitely think doing some more like some private sessions would be good.
Mhm.
I was getting the need for you to have some awareness.
Mm.
I wanted to just clear it. I did. But I was like hearing, okay, she also needs to kind of have some cognitions because it's
Mm.
almost whatever happened was a time where your power was really strong.
Mm.
It's like in order to return back to your power, like I get the sense of you being a priestess, right? And having powers and abilities, and that something happened that was hard for you to like keep that awareness of your gifts. So it was like, I'm going to shut them down because this was just too much. So I don't want to know, right? Like I'm just going to leave my normal life. I'm going to keep those powers and abilities out there somewhere. And I think this happens to a lot of us.
Mm.
It did for me, where it was like, it's safer. The illusion is that it's safer to not have these gifts. But what ends up happening, if you are gifted spiritually, is that those gifts are going to start coming out. They just come out, right? Like you can't really suppress them forever. You end up meeting Lotus, you end up meeting Michael, you start meeting these teachers and guides who are like bringing those gifts out, right? And so then as your gifts start to awaken and you start to become more aware of who you are on a spiritual level, guess what? Anything that happened when you were using those spiritual gifts and you're awake and aware of those spiritual gifts, that stuff comes up.
Mm.
That's why having mentors, guides, teachers, practitioners, buddies on our path. That's one reason I do this group, right? Is that I feel people needing support on the path of awakening.
Mm.
It's crazy making otherwise. Like, what am I sensing? Like these other dimensions? I'm psychically knowing things. Like, So like having people who are supporting you on the path to know that what you're experiencing and feeling and aware of is okay. It's so important. So, so important. So I'm really glad you all came tonight. And I think you're feeling better. And if layers, reach out, we can do more sessions. And now we know the depth of what's getting activated. I swear, like when I have these events with you all, like what comes through is like always next level because of all of us being here. It like allows like the veil just gets lifted. I'm just like pulled out of my ego and I'm just like, oh, wow, it's like seeing your charts really clearly. Something about the collective, right? Us kind of co-creating this event together, like our energies work and amplify. All of our psychic abilities are now seeing, and maybe I know how to read the map a little bit better, so I can kind of read it a little more clearly. But we're all using our gifts.
I Thanks so much, Lotus.
Oh,
Thanks.
yeah, this is amazing what we can do together. Yeah, I'm glad you're feeling better. And did anyone else have like a profound shift while that was happening? Anyone else feeling lighter or notice anything? I would imagine yes.
Yes, I'm feeling the there's also a party in my house right now, but
Love it. And you're on the call with us. I'm honored, Anthony.
yeah,
Okay.
and they're singing right now. But I'm feeling what was I gonna say? Well, that aspect that you mentioned at the beginning, that everything outside is like things happening all around, but in here it feels like calm, and also a little bit, I think it's also tiring a little bit. So I'm starting to smoothly going to
Sleepy?
mode.
Yeah, that was a lot. A lot of stuff came out.
Mm.
Yeah, so if you feel tired after doing a clearing, you can also imagine your three energy centers, your three dantians. One is your middle of your heart, one is your lower belly, and one is your forehead. And you can tap right here on the back of your finger and place your hand like on your lower belly to start. And you're just going to breathe. You're just going to breathe slow and deep into your lower belly, imagining your lower belly filling up with air. And you're just breathing energy and prana into your belly. And this can really help if like you cleared a bunch of stuff and now your energy is feeling like maybe a little depleted or tired. And that just can help you kind of like ground and reorient yourself. And then you can put your hand on your forehead and tap on the back of your hand here and breathe into your forehead. And this is filling up your upper dantian, your mind. So many things we talked about. It's like kind of a lot for the mind to get so stretched, and it's just filling up your mind. Good. Now that's feeling better, and you're gonna put your hand on your heart. Tap at the same point between the pinky and the ring finger. Place your hand on your heart. And just breathe long, slow, and deep. Kind of setting that intention to come back to peace, back to oneness. And setting the intention that we're going to create peace, we're going to create oneness, we're going to create good things in our lives. That as we create good things in our lives, the world reflects that and good things happen. In the world, we change news headlines, we change outcomes, we change realities by us choosing to be the peace, by us choosing to be this high vibration. We influence the course of destiny. Just feel how that feels so good in our heart. Know that our energy, our frequency, our vibration, our thoughts, feelings, and emotions influence the world in a positive way when we choose to be positive. Breathing in and out. There. Yeah. And how do you feel now? You notice feeling a little more pulled up. Yeah.
It's definitely more alert and present.
Yes. Yeah, we can get very easily depleted through energy work, and yeah, it's very powerful to clear like that. Yeah. Okay, so Carlina, let me tell you where you have this Venus and Ophiuchus energy happening. And how are you feeling? How are you doing right now?
I'm pretty tired as well. But then after
Mhm.
that clearing you just did with Anthony,
Yeah,
I do feel a little bit more alert. I still feel tired, but a little bit more alert.
yeah, yeah. We did some major stuff, especially like helping um Carlo's father get to the light. That's huge.
Yeah, that was amazing. The shift in the energy that I felt after that happened.
Mhm.
Yeah, that was very interesting.
Yeah, yeah, it's really profound, the shifts that can happen. Absolutely. Yeah. I'm grateful. So this Venus in Ophiuchus is landing in on your past life point, your karma point. So this may be a quintessentially more tiring time for you, just because you could be having past life memories come up in a pretty deep way, right? I don't know how you've been feeling before today or right now, but it's funny because you have Jupiter, which is the millionaire planet, and Mercury conjunct, which is really positive, but then you also have the karmic past life point. So that tells me that, Ophiuchus energy is very important to you, and perhaps in a past life you were a priestess, you were a shamaness, you were, someone very tuned into energy, very tuned into the power of transformation, very tuned into energy transmutation. Yeah. And what does that bring up for you when I share
Um, I I do feel like I'm getting like some past life things coming up. I don't know if it has something to do with a relationship I have with a friend.
that? Oh yeah.
Yeah, I just noticed that there's like I get triggered sometimes, and I can kind of tell that it's in relation to some sort of past life. Something to
Right.
life. Like it's just interesting. Like it's almost like I've known her before.
hmm Yeah, well, it's funny you say friend because it's in the third house of like friends and associates and like, people you're not super close to, but like people who are around you.
Yeah. And I've also noticed that I've I have been feeling tired lately. It just happened today. Uh,
hmm
I think I was tuning into just communicating in a group chat, and that friend was in there. And I noticed when she spoke, I felt very drained.
hmm Oh yeah. So what's happening is it's not her that's draining your energy. It's she is the catalyst. She catalyzes the trigger, which is a negative emotion that is trapped in your field. And so she's lighting it up.
Mhm.
And that's why you feel bad. And it's so easy to think it's the people who are triggering it. So easy. But yes, she may have been in that lifetime and maybe she did do something, but then it affected you. And now it's becomes our work to clear what we are, how we're affected, right? So where do you feel it in your body?
I kind of feel like it in my heart and also in my uterus, like in my sacral chakra. So
It's very deep.
pardon?
It's very deep.
Okay.
It's a big one. Yeah. Okay. So I want you to do is stretch your arms up. And I want you to feel into your belly and your uterus area. Okay. And I want you to breathe in And I want you to breathe in golden light down into your uterus and into your belly. And then I want you to breathe out darkness. Good. I want you to breathe in golden light. And I want you to breathe out darkness. Fantastic. Breathe in golden light. And breathe out darkness. And I'm going to call upon your God angel. You can bring your hands down. Calling upon your God angel to go into your past life field and ask your God angel to start working on this issue between you and your friend. Anything and everything she brings up. Anything or everything she lets down. And we just ask for complete change history. And everything is needed. Levels 1, 2, and 3. And we're just going to call upon the God angel. Send golden light down through your core, through your central channel, through all of your meridians, and your dantian. Notice what emotion is coming up. Could you let this go?
Yes.
Would you let this go?
Yes.
When?
Now.
Good. Take a deep breath in. Take a deep breath out. And everyone watching this healing is going to affect you as well in a positive, uplifting way. We're going to ask Archangel Michael, we're going to ask all the beings of love and light to come in and help take this dark ball of karmic mass. And we're going to ask God to give you the gift of forgiveness. Forgiveness into the uterus, forgiveness into the heart space. And also asking God to give you the gift of awareness of what you need to learn from this situation. And everyone at home, you can receive this energy for whatever issue you're dealing with. Just allow this light energy to come surrounding your situation. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Oh, and what do you notice now?
Feel lighter.
Mm-hmm. When you think, yeah, go ahead.
I don't know this. I don't know what this feeling is. I just feel kind of lighter, and it almost feels like I'm crying, but I'm not. So I don't know what it is.
There's some tears. It's also kind of mixing with the love that just came through. And so you would have probably been crying if there hadn't been the love. The love is kind of acting as the softening, and it's helping the sadness and grief come out in a softer way.
Yeah, and my face just feels very warm.
Yeah, yeah, I was feeling like an oven over here. So yeah, I'm not surprised.
Mhm.
Right, so anything and everything in the way of this karmic situation between you and your friend resolving. We just asked for a complete change history. And everything is needed. Levels 1, 2, and 3. Deep breath in and out. Right in any of the sadness and grief. Anything that brings up or lets down. We just ask for a complete change history. And everything is needed. Levels 1, 2, and 3. And deep breath in and out. And breathe in golden light, stretch up your arms. Feel the golden light coming in through your palms as you breathe in. As you exhale, breathe out any darkness out of your body. Good, inhale, stretch your arms up, feel the golden light come in. Exhale, allow any darkness to come out of your body. And deep breath in and out. Inshallah is just having immense amounts of golden light come in. Yeah, that's right. As long as you want it. Yeah, bring it in. Ah, that golden light. That golden light. And what do you notice now, Lena?
I feel lighter.
Hmm?
I kind of feel like I just had a spa treatment.
That's how I should rebrand myself. Would you like to feel like you've had a spa treatment?
Yeah.
Great. We should build a real spa.
Mhm.
Yeah, the spiritual spa. Yeah, I like that. I'll come hang out. Sounds like a plan. Saunas and juice bars and sprout queen, sprouting stuff.
Mhm.
Calling you in, Christine. I'm gonna hire you for the spiritual spa. You can help the land, okay? We need your help with the fruit trees and all the animals. Because I kind of know, but I don't really. Right? Yeah. Great work. Great work, Lena.
Thank you.
When you think about your friend, how does it feel now?
Um, I I still feel like there's something there, but
There is.
yeah.
If you want to do more work, we should probably do like a one-on-one because I helped you feel better because we brought it up, but there are probably more layers
Hmm.
that might require some digging. And
Yeah, I think so. I think it's a very deep one. So
feels that way to me. But it's amazing that I could get you feeling better, even if it's so deep. But this is why healing work, we have to be really careful that like we're actually doing the digging on the session
mhm.
and not just the healing and like the feeling better. That we actually do the digging, get out the root, and then we feel a lot better. And so that's why sometimes personal sessions are better because then we can go deeper.
Sounds good.
Yeah, like the Mexico flag. Christine's like, gotta be in a warm place. And we got the Mexican flag. Interesting. Anthony, look for properties, okay? Yeah, all right, he's on it. He's on it. Okay. We have some kind of spiritual retreat center in Mexico. Why not? Sounds like a plan. All right, Lena, reach out to me if you want to do some more work. I am gonna offer a special rate for the next week between now and the 8th of November. I'm gonna offer a special discounted rate if you need some healing work support with all the crazy energies that are happening on the planet right now. If you have ancestral work you need to clear, if you have ghosts or spirits you need to help ascend into the light, if you have astrological questions, reach out to me. I'm going to put a special rate in effect for the next 7 days. This is a special rate for those in need, as I feel y'all going through it. So many layers. Okay. Message me if you'd like to do that.
What's the special rate?
Oh, message me and find out. I normally charge about well, quite a bit more, and so I'll be charging less for the next 7 days. And it might be a good time if you want to buy a bunch of sessions, you could get them all at that special rate. That's kind of a good deal. So reach out, let me know if that works for you. And then Christine, I don't know why you gotta wait to the end for me to read your chart like this every time. But, you know, of course, you've got it in your 4th house, Venus and Ophiuchus, and you've got both the sun and moon conjuncture IC, which is home and family and DNA and birthing. So I highly recommend that we maybe do some more sessions because it's right on the IC, which is ancestral things. But it also could mean a time to set an intention for your new home, for your new family, right? Like, what is it? What do you want to create around home and family? What's your vision? This is the time for you to dream that. And get all the other crap out of the way and just be like, damn it, this is what I want. This is what I want. I don't care if it's not here. I don't care if it's not my physical. I am going to create this inside of myself and I'm going to have it. Okay. And just really calling that in. So where do you want to live? Why do you want to live there? What do you want to do? Okay. I need you to maybe dream build, write about it. What is it?
The vision board has been across from my pillow since the beginning of the year. I almost feel like I've had to take it down, but I'm like, it's just.
You need to take it down and you need to build it over again. You need to start over because you're different now. You're different. This is a new beginning. When you make that vision board, it's going to have different energy. And I think that's why you felt like you needed to take it down. Now it's also conjunct your past life point, your karmic point. So as you